like it's truth or dare. The way you're pulling me closer makes me wanna bear it all for you. Ooh, why don't you show me how much you care? Be the devil on my shoulder, 'cause I don't think we got a lot to lose. Ooh, make me your shadow. Wanna be with you wherever you go. You know I will follow you. Only feel right when I got you close. Without you, I'm hollow. Wherever you are is where I call home. Make me your shadow. Your shadow. as I'm searching for the break of a day to follow away to you. 'Cause at the end of the day, I ain't looking for no reason to change. 'Cause everything is good for you. Baby, I can see we're gonna shout it out to the sky. Tell our secrets to the night, so we can see the end inside. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light than love. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. Baby, I can see we're gonna shout it out to the sky. Tell our secrets to the night, so we can see the end inside. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light than love. We're gonna shout it out to the sky.
Welcome to Sub-Saharan Africa. Welcome to the Rocket League Championship Series 2026. The most anticipated season in our 4-year history in this global competition, and without a doubt, our most competitive. It all starts with this Open number 1, where the field of 123 teams was whittled down to just 16. Those 16 battled it out last night to determine the final 8 for this weekend's playoffs. Today and tomorrow, we, along with all of you, will be here for every demo, save, assist, and goal, through the lows of defeat and the highs of victory, and at the end, we'll crown a champion. SSA, our best season is this season. And we are back just like that. Your guides and storytellers for today and tomorrow are all here. First off camera, he has cast every season of SSA RLCS, an OG of the local Rocket League scene, and very briefly, a Rocket League competitor, Mr. Altruism. And then joining me right here on the desk, also casting SSA RLCS for the 5th time, the German Rocket League professor, Machtfish, out of North America. Also here for his 5th season, streamer, content creator, and SSA evangelist, Pyro J. And finally, Rocket League community builder and our in-house analyst and statistician straight out of Kempton, the Bromeo. And I am Greybeard. Gentlemen, welcome. 123 signups. Is this our most competitive season ever?
There's no doubt about it. It has to be the most competitive. 123 signups. There's a 2 and 3 in there, right? It reminds me of the 2/3 role that was announced at the World Championship last season. Something this region has been calling for so long. It really stabilizes the skill amongst the teams while also accelerating the growth from the players in this region. It makes it the most exciting Graybeard that I couldn't wait for the start of the season. I was hosting show matches a month ago, pretending like the season started then. I'm so happy we're here today.
It's the rebirth of SSA. That's what we're here to witness. We had a bit of a troubled past, but now we're back in full force. We're all excited about it, and I mean, credit where credit is due to Blast and Salnix and Epic Games to actually bring in from the community feedback that 2/3 rule, and now we can see the fruits that it will yield, because honestly, yesterday already was amazing, and today it's going to be even better. I feel like I'm so ready for the first glance at RLCS 2026.
And it's already been such a packed year of Rocket League so far, and we were not ready for such an exciting soon kickoff of Rocket League for this season. And I feel like it's a little bit of Christmas come early for the rest of us. I'm not sure about you guys.
Well, talking about 2/3 for a moment, if we look at the shape of the top 8, it is exactly 2/3 in terms of player participation. And then zooming out a little bit, the big question was, what would be the response of the SSA community to this new rule? And it was fantastic. We've touched on it a number of times already on podcast and in our intro, the number of teams signing up. And it's not, yes, there are a number of sort of low-ranked grinders who are looking to make it to that top level, that are signing up to get the experience. But it feels like to me, Bromeo, what we have, if you cast our minds back 4 years now, when we first got going, it felt like there were 6 good teams and then riffraff. Now it feels like we're actually starting to develop a bubble scene, a scene that is growing underneath the amazing work being done at high schools and broadly in the community. RSC is feeding into this, and it's early days, but it does feel like we're starting to have a bubble scene.
Truly it does, and I completely agree with you there. We're starting to see a much more competitive bubble scene. We're talking about positions 4 to 16. Back in the day when we first got granted admittance to the hallowed grounds of RLCS, it was pretty much top 8 or bust. You weren't a good team if you didn't make top 8. Now, if we're having a look at the teams filtering through, even all the way from top 16, it is now an achievement to get there. You're saying high schools. We've seen some actual high schools in this latest iteration of RLCS. We saw Cairo Durbanville being included for the first time, and that is incredibly exciting to see. You're seeing school teams, you're seeing many more teams, but most of all, you're seeing an increased level competition at the top.
And we've seen high school, even in America. I think there's the one video going around of that high school Rocket match where it was like a filled sports hall. The bleach is completely filled to the brim. Everyone cheering for their team. It's a long way, I know, because esports also, like scholastic and collegiate esports, is very different in the States as compared to Europe and also more importantly South Africa. But like that's something to strive for, because that is amazing, right?
And we have to, I mean, in defense of, just to promote Yakals a little bit, and Paul Roos, they've done great work. There's a couple of videos of them. So they have approached it, but they are pioneers, and now we're going to drag everyone behind us. One of the other consequences of 2/3 rule, the new look SSA, was a very interesting roster mania season. It's my favorite time in all of RLCS is roster mania. Just the chaos of people finding teams, putting together the speculation, and with that third spot and teams now looking, and especially people who you wouldn't expect to be looking outside of the region, suddenly doing a bit of scouting. And Pyro, I wouldn't mind some of your thoughts on the lead up and the fascination and the result of we're not 100% sure where we stand because we need to see these new rosters.
For sure. We're already finally getting a look with the qualifiers, but one stat really comes to mind is the fact that 14 of the top 16 teams were 2/3. And that is just an overwhelming majority. Most teams are bringing in that import. I think there were even some teams that didn't really want an international third, but ended up taking it anyway, because that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But to me, the other huge point here is the fact of the top of the talent of the region kind of set that into motion by breaking up themselves, right? Limitless, the top team in local region that we've been talking about for so long, are no longer the same three. Snowy goes on a different team than Sweaty and To Die For. So we have a lot to discuss when it comes to those players and where they went and how those teams look now. But to me, that really set in stone what the rest of the region would look like.
Well, it all started last weekend with the qualifiers. Those teams who had signed up took to the field, and because it's the start of a new season, there was a level playing field. Everyone thrown into the big bin for double elimination, followed by the top 32 Swiss, which got us our top 16. They battled last night to determine who would make it here today for the top 8 playoffs. And I know, Pyro, you were casting 5 fears, but also keeping an eye on what went down in the GSL brackets. And Pyro, bring us the top plays out of GSL.
It'd be my pleasure, Graybeard. Let's get to it, everybody. The top plays with Pyro J that'll leave you saying this is SSA. We're kicking it off with 5 fears, with sadly the only saved clip from the broadcast, but it's our final goal against Rounds. Tekaz with the oh-so-elegant glide to the goal. A terrifying 18-5 goal differential from that series. Now let's still show some love to Rounds as number 7 features their barn burner with Synthesis. It's Declan. Perfect shot saved by Willu, then blocked by Renshiro. An unbelievable amount of great defense from Rounds. For number 6, we'll have to give the honors to Sweaty from the Pioneers. Cross court, 0 second, flip, reset, air, dribble, bullseye. It's that why not style from Sweaty that begs for opponents to get in his path just so he can dust them. But hold on tight, we're speeding into the top 5. Give it up for Cosmico. Stake to Ravi, to the net, and run it back, because the replay looks even better. Stake lifts off like a rocket ship from the ground, jets off past Snoozy, and Ravi tacks on that finishing touch. And if you like redirects, good news, that's just a sampler. Give me number 4. I'm hungry for Team Husky. The double-double from Anyilo, off the ceiling, off the backboard for a beauty. But for Husky, it wasn't perfect. Number 3, it's the Punishers. Find themselves down 1 with 10 seconds to go. They serve up that slider to tie it up with 4 seconds left. From the kickoff, Anyilo looks for OT. Shadow calls for more. Pinch off the sidewall, 50 to the backboard. Shadow won't let it die. Kexi to goal, Ninja. That is the Punishers with ice. And if that's number 3, then what could possibly be number 2? Let's make our way to the Synthesis team stream. Back to that gritty game with Rounds. Here comes Daps. Over cam. Fakes the last 2. Oh, it is diabolical. From Daps. Tantalizing. You gotta check it twice. So smooth. I mean, that's an ore farm. That's just an ore farm from Daps. But it's number 1 play of the day from yesterday. Give me Death Cloud Esports team stream. Triple T. T-Shao slams it forward. Redirect of a lifetime from Tweaks. Oh my goodness. 134 kph on this one. Tweaks just has this perfect hop right before the contact that annihilates this ball into the net. Capping off our top plays in SSA.
Someone please clip that.
Gents, are we feeling like this is SSA?
I get so excited watching that. Part of me wants to go and play immediately to not perform anything like that, but to at least give it my best shot. But man, but it does now introduce GSL last night. 2 groups, Group A, Group B, 2 brackets, 16 teams starting, only 8 could make it out, and it's sort of like a mini Swiss. You have to win 2 series. You win 2, you're through. You lose 2, you're out, and you have just 1 extra life to make it. And there we see Group A, and My goodness, the surprises. Bromeo, you might as well start with you because there's a couple of obvious surprises.
Man, it was really interesting to watch this one come through. Team 10 taking down Synthesis in Game 5. They came through barnstorming. Synthesis not being as strong as we expected them to coming through. But ultimately, I think it's just some of these good teams taking a little bit longer to gel themselves together. But that was my biggest opening round moment.
So coming out of Group A, Five Fears, Cosmico, Team 10, and Synthesis. And over in Group B, the teams making it through there, we had Pioneers looking for Org, Punishers, and Death Cloud. And Machfish, we're going to talk more about Death Cloud today and definitely tomorrow, because that's a team that I know you're getting excited about. But Husky, that's Zany. Pyro, Zany's struggles continue in his pursuit of Rocket League glory.
Listen, it's close, right? But when we get down to the top 8, there's only so many teams that can truly make that push. I mean, even with this bracket, Spanish Pop, that was a team that I really wanted to make through. We've seen top 8s from Nitro and Zyra before. And with that pickup from Chancla, I thought they were going to be a more competitive team. So in the end, happy that teams like Death Cloud did pull through to the end. But like I said, top 8, you just got to make your mark. You just got to beat some of the best.
So two things I want to highlight. Firstly, Astronic. Don't know what happened there, and I don't know who wants to have a go at what on earth went down. But they had a shocker of a night. But then, Machfish, I know you were talking. You even tweeted about it. The Punishers, and firstly, the Org Punishers kind of snuck in there and picked up this roster. And when I found out about it, I was like, well, I'm very happy Punishers are here. Interesting roster.
Yeah, interesting roster, and I think there's a global apology that all of us have to make because we weren't giving them the light of day on our predictions, even on the podcast. I don't think we had them in the top 16.
No, we didn't.
And yet they made top 8. Like, Gold Ninja, Shadow, and Kexi, apologies, we were simply not familiar with your game, and your game seems to be really good. I mean, wins over Death Cloud and Husky are definitely nothing to scoff at, which to me means that they have a realistic shot today against Synthesis as well.
It definitely feels a bit like a cat and pigeon scenario. Gentlemen, you see up on the screen the rosters that are here for top 8. And I want to go down the line. Bromeo, starting with you. Who your impact players? Who are the players making an impact for their team and likely to continue over the weekend?
So my first one comes out of no surprises, but straight out of Pioneers, Sweaty had an absolute barnstorming run, leading from the front for Pioneers, and he's just been so good. There's not too much to talk about because he is just that good. But my second player who's been playing incredibly well, syncing so well with his team, and maybe Pyro can talk a little bit more about this, but it is Five Fears' Guns. Guns topping up the assists yesterday as they barnstormed their way through GSL. And honestly, the way Five Fears are looking as a result of these 3 now, very scary indeed.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I mean, I like the scary, the terrifying of the fears. Their tagline is to be fearless. And yeah, I agree. That's how I saw Guns' gameplay. I mean, you're calling out the assist. What I saw when I was watching the game was his devilish style on the bump plays. He was incredibly physical. You normally think of him as a mechanical warrior, but he is not afraid to let loose and rip players apart. Disruption both in the bumps and the boost steals. For me, I also want to call out Death Cloud. I'm really excited about Tweaks. Okay, Tweaks had the top play of the day, and for what I know, is the first Namibian to be in the top 16. So, you know, we're talking about global representation, but we're also talking about more SSA representation as well. I just want to give my shouts out to Tweaks. I'm excited to see more.
That's for you, Mart.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm figuring out how to word this because I'm very happy for Tweaks. I'm very happy for a Namibian player to actually be up there. But for me, this Death Cloud roster, it just could potentially bring out the best in everyone, because when you have Twinzer at the back as like the stalwart that we've seen now for the past 2 years here in SSA, it sort of allows T-Show and Tweaks to run the offense and sort of allows them to be a bit more loose, to cut more aggressively and play to their own strengths. So I feel like Death Cloud, we're not going to see them today. We're going to see them tomorrow. That's something that we want to look out for. But one other thing that I want to talk about is on Cosmico. Yes, they're one of our big four, but by no means are there players that we're used to seeing in the big four. Jeff has just made his first top 8 in RLCS ever. Scratch that. Let's make it his first top 6 as well, because that's already guaranteed. Ravi is 15. I think it's just his 15th birthday a week or so ago. And these two have got no experience at the highest level of a region. And that's where Stake comes in. The Spaniard was so much experience, and that's really helpful for the young players to just grow alongside, to take that experience, to take that wisdom and move it forward into their own playstyle. So they know they don't need to be nervous. And I feel like for me, that Cosmico roster, it probably wouldn't work as well with a younger import or a younger third player. They need that experience, and that's what Stake brings to the table.
So I had a number of players that I'm just going to highlight two. One I just want to is Gold Ninja, and I didn't watch all the games intimately to understand deeply what he brought, but I love the fact that Gold Ninja is there. He was part of the longest standing roster in the region with Bird, and which later became it started as Fish and then became Bird with Zeph. And I love the fact that he is there. We saw him at the RSC mid-season LAN, and he was so enthusiastic, and I just love this for him and for that team. And then, of course, Kexi. And I thought they would struggle just because they got 2 high-ping players, but they've done magnificently. And then the point I want to talk about is Tekos, because, yes, there are a lot of EU players, but he is the only one that is now in the region. He is in SSA, and I feel like Five Fears kept that very much on the DQ, snuck him in through the back door to give them an advantage, because clearly the two teams that we on the desk and chat have been saying this competition is between Pioneers with Lewis P and Five Fears with Tekos, but now Tekos in the region, Machfish, that changes the complexion a little bit.
And we talked about it in the background, right? Are the Orcs going to fly out their imports to SA? Because there is just that discernible ping advantage. It's just black and white. There is just an advantage to it. And we didn't know that 5 years would do it. So us realizing yesterday during the team streams that, hold on, Tekos is on low ping. This changes it. This now I feel like becomes a thing of, okay, Pioneers maybe slight favorites, now moves heavily to the other side. The metronome completely swung to the other side and says, okay, no, this first regional, even though it's early doors, this is 5 years one to lose, I feel like.
Well, I think they've certainly done well to line themselves up for it, and shout out to them for it. There are other imports who are coming out to SSA. Lewis P is going to be here from Open number 2, and I understand Stake as well will be here from Open number 2. So it levels out then. But right now, for Open 1, advantage 5 Fears. And that brings us to our schedule today. Top 8 playoffs, 2 teams to be eliminated. The rest will go through to the top 6 tomorrow. Punishers versus Synthesis. That will be our first match. Then Team 10, Death Cloud, and Team 10 have had to forfeit, unable to play, unfortunately, today. So Death Cloud get a pass, extra scrimming time for them. We will see them tomorrow. Then Pioneers, Cosmico, 5 Fears, and looking for Org. So we were just talking about the Punishers. We were talking about Synthesis probably not being as on top of things as they should have been yesterday. But at the same time, Bromeo, I kind of feel like it's if we look at Daps and Declan, it's kind of their brand. take the long way around. Don't expedite your route to the next round. They're constantly going to game 5s, round 5. What's the last possible round we can qualify in? We'll go there.
Honestly, they're an enigma of a team, Synthesis, right now, and Pyro highlighted Daps's goal earlier, 2nd overall in Pyro's power play, and it was an absolute screamer. Faked out the entire team, sent them for hot dogs, and it's just indicative of how good a team they can be when they want to play some balls. So the Synthesis team has deep potential, but they always have had. And we've been talking about some of the European players coming in for the 3rd slot in these teams. I view them sort of as like booster cards for the team, because it sort of amplifies where your team needs help the most. And I feel like the team that uses this advantage the best to amplify they don't need a carry, they need somebody to make them better as a team. And because we're at that level where not one player is going to carry the entire scene, these are some quality outfits, and I feel like we're looking at a top 8 of teams who have utilized that 3rd spot to enhance their team. So Synthesis always been good. Will Meshin do the trick this time? We will find out.
We're going to be giving our predictions very shortly, but in the meantime, chat can get involved with your prediction on who you think is going to win between these two teams, the Punishers and or Synthesis. So you can get going. You can get going on that vote as soon as it's open. There it is. Hashtag SYN Sin. Hashtag PUN for the Punishers. So it feels like, Pyro, when you look at today's schedule, that 3 of the series or 2 of the series are pretty easy to predict. This one, not so much, but what are you feeling as you look at the team matchup there?
Oh, this is tough. You've got the Punishers, who no one believed in to even make top 16. Here they are in top 8, ready to take anybody down. So they're in the upswing. Whereas Synthesis, oh, it's so hard what to make of this team. They're one of the toughest to root for, because they'll have possession, they'll have shots, but they will spend an eternity on their opponent's side of the field before they score a goal. It is so tragic trying to watch this team to score. Look at the shot count, over 8. And I'm sure we'll see double digits in most games. So it's a team that I want to back. When I made my prediction Sunday night after the qualifiers, I had Synthesis in the top 4. But boy, do they love to get down to the nitty gritty. If they went to game 5s in GSL, I'm expecting game 7s today.
Yeah, it is kind of tough. So you weren't familiar, Machtfish, with Punisher's game. You're a little more familiar now. Are you familiar enough with them to lean in their direction over Synthesis?
Oh, I'm still torn. Because on paper, this seems like not an easy one, but this seems to go the way of Synthesis. From the players, the names, like Daps and Declan, they've been mainstays in top 8, or at least top 16, but mostly moving into top 8 as well. I feel like still it's Synthesis one to lose, but the Punishers have brought something that is very difficult to play against, and that is absolutely no pressure whatsoever. They've already outperformed everyone's expectations, probably or possibly even their own, so they can play completely freely. They don't have anything to play for, so I feel like that's something that's going to swing with the Punishers. And if Synthesis tries too hard, if they become too desperate, then I feel like the Punishers might become true to their name as well.
It's frustrating. I'm a huge fan of Daps and Declan, and I'm becoming a fan of Meshins. And Meshin is he's Hungary's top player as far as I understand. And not too long ago with Motion, there's a name blast from the past, they won a competition in Europe. I mean, it was a substantial number of euros. I can't remember, but it was the
Hungarian National League is what they won.
Oh, is there? Okay. And
Yep.
and and I feel like he is yet to shine. And yes, you got to get used to that, the high ping play and so on. And I have not seen him yet come to shine. And I do think Daps and Declan are going to need him to be there, because individually they are great, Daps and Declan. But I do think they need someone who can be their sort of standard bearer and run out front. And I'm hoping Meshin will get around that today. And I see chat are very busy with their vote. Carry on with that. We'll give you the results shortly. So let's get to... I feel like this entire desk is sort of, what's the word? Wavering. Not wanting to go one way or the other. It's time. It's time now to put money in mouth. So, but I'll go first. I will back Synthesis to figure it out, and Meshin to come to the party, Daps and Declan to do their thing. So I will say Synthesis will take it. LeBron.
Oh, this is a tough one, and I'm going to agree with you. Yes, we
know it's tough, Bromeo.
I think out of all of the matchups today, this one's going to be the tightest. I do think Synthesis is going to take it. Punishers, they've done incredibly well. They've scared all of us. They've made all of our predictions wrong, but I think that ends right here, right now.
I will go next. Yeah. So my greatest concern with Synthesis wasn't even the possession play, though I talked about it at length. It's their defense that looks a little paper thin. I hosted them in show matches. I was watching their quals. Their rotations weren't as crisp as I'd like, but I thought in GSL they had cleaned some of that up. I know they did go to get some game fives, but their greatest weakness in my mind is something they've focused on and improved on. I believe that in a game 7, in a best of 7, they will go the distance, but they ultimately will take this win. Give me Synthesis.
Oh gosh, now I'm not too sure I wanted to go first, because Markfish, don't do it, Markfish.
No. You know how on majors we've got the coin?
Okay.
I've been inspired. I am absolutely been inspired by it. So, at least for the duration of this entire regional, I shall be doing my predictions thusly. Let's see what my prediction will be. Punishers! I wasn't familiar with your game. I am familiar now. Give me the Punishers in 7.
Outstanding. Okay, well done, Mark. You get a little prize for that. Well done. Okay, so it's not full desk, and then, however, the chat vote just moments ago was 52% for Synthesis. That has since changed. I'm wondering if Tendo Plays got a bunch of Synthesis people into the chat to come and vote, because it jumped from 52% all the way to 66% in favor of Synthesis. So, and you know what? I had a little chat during the watch party with Kexi. I don't know that he will mind that. I think he's quite happy to be the underdog, but he did point out that no one they feel slept on, and that's fair enough. So they will go into this opener as the underdog, which is not a place to be, a bad place to be, but it happens now. Ladies, gentlemen, this is RLCS SSA Open number 1, 2026 season. We get underway now.
We take to the freshly cut grass of a new season for a Group B rematch. Synthesis conquered some tough opposition to take main event. We have said that this alone is a great milestone. Along the way, they made their current opposition and crumbled against an unstoppable force. A previous 3-0 victory has left Punishers my personal favorite coming into this. Chats in the panel seem to disagree. We will only find out through action. Markfish, here we go.
Oh, we can talk so much, Mike, can't we? We can talk all day long, but in the end, it doesn't matter. In the end, it's these 6 players on the pitch that have to bring the performance. And with that, the 2026 season, as far as main events goes, is finally underway. Synthesis in the blue, the Punishers, very fittingly in the orange.
Mark, I think it's so fitting. Oh, an early breakaway. Nice save coming out there from Declan, an experienced player. I think it's so fitting coming into this match that the only person to back me was the coin flip. But I feel like that's so much of what the season is the Punishers now put under a bit of pressure on their own back line. Oh,
We've said it's close because we don't really know where to place the Punishers. We didn't give them the light of day in our preseason predictions, but they've proven us wrong. The question is Synthesis aware of this? Are Synthesis taking them as seriously as they need to be? Coming into the opening minute, I would say, yeah, the respect is there.
yeah. Both these teams know each other after a couple of seasons. I mean, Kexi has been around. He was in the original Trifecta team, so they know what it's like to play with people from different regions. And on the other side, Daps, Declan, these are names that we've seen in so many different competitions, not just RLCS. Both of them have come to the field and definitely getting that feeling of that first game feel out. Just see where our limit testing leads us.
The limit not yet found by the team, as we do have those best of sevens going forward, right? So also they've got a lot of time to adjust. That 3-0 from Swissstone, you mentioned it in your series intro. That's gonna be like in the back of their head, at least for Synthesis. They want revenge.
Yeah, you haven't managed to overcome your opposition yet. You've got a long way to go if you're going to do it 4 times, and they got a nice breakaway here. It's going to be Declan to pick up the opening goal as the counter-attack from Synthesis. Perfect off a great dunk and link-up play.
Oh, the dunk on Kexi, who was a little bit too eager perhaps to take that shot, could have taken it into the corner, prolonged the offensive push, but no, went for it straight away, and Synthesis say thank you very much on the counter-attack. 1-0 now. With the lead behind them, the Punishers have been punished.
A momentary breaks like that, and that get to them. It doesn't look like it. Kexi takes confidently to the air. Nice follow-up here to try trap it against the backboard, but Declan doing well. They made it a second into this, though, so it's all up to Daps, and trying to get some freedom going through. He manages to get it around the wide. Synthesis back in control of this, looking to make an offensive.
Synthesis trying and coming very close, if not for Kexi, together with the woodwork keeping it out. But Synthesis closer to the second, and Punisher are currently to the equalizer. With halftime having come and gone in game number 1, we have to sort of surmise the opening phase that Synthesis want to make their claim into the top 6 a bit more at the moment than the Punishers.
Yeah, they've certainly been on the offensive. The Punishers with a little bit of a breakaway. Gold Ninja was lurking around in the right position. He has to do some work here against Mesh and force it towards the center. No jump through then. It's that little bit of hunger difference right now, ironically, considering, Punishers have the Hungarian player on their side. But Synthesis are just quick to the ball. They're pretty resolute in defense, and they're looking to make these counterattacks quickly. So definitely psychologically, at least, in the favor of Synthesis.
Ira said earlier on the desk that he believed the defense of Synthesis to be a bit too thin, that the rotation's not really working out just yet. And I see little cracks of that, but at the same time, the communication is just really good at the moment for Synthesis. Cuts are being called early, cuts are being respected as well from the teammates. So Synthesis definitely working out their troubles over the past few weeks, have been looking strong here in the opening game. Kexi off to Gold Ninja, but that's easily put aside by Declan once and put away twice.
Yep. And what's really nice to see in our top 8 is that this is a game that's not being decided by mistakes. Both teams pretty disciplined in their use of the field, their use of their resources. They're not overextending, but making nice creative plays, and a bit of a chance. Yeah, Daps actually gets a fortuitous bounce, but managed to get on top of it. Punisher's now looking to break away. Shadow returning to the scene. It's looked good thus far, and Punisher's, though, just not really following up, looking a bit reactive at this stage, and you've only got a minute left.
And overall, I feel like it's a reactive game. It's a gritty game.
Yeah.
Where both teams, they are so struggling for field possession that they have to work for every meter that they drive down that field. Declan dropping back, thinking better of it. Gold Ninja, one shot, that's not going to trouble Meshin. Daps was there covering for him anyway. And the Punisher's trying to find a way forward, but as you said earlier, they're sort of struggling to link up with one another.
They're relying a lot on maintaining possession, and they're doing a good job of that for 90% of the way, but there'll be one little breakaway. They've got 10 seconds left. It's bouncing nicely to the center. The angle's off. Forced back in. Rolls up the side. Push. Puts it in a Daps with the clear. The nice Punisher. Synthesis. Oh, no. We don't keep this up. Game number 1, and we're already going to be messing around like this. No, it finally does find the ground. And a single goal is all Synthesis needed to break that game 1.
It was close in the end, and I want to highlight that pass down from Gold Ninja to the right-hand side to Shadowhunter. That was great observation. That was a good call. Again, respect the calls of your teammate. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out in the end for the Punishers, but that was a high-class opportunity. And game 1, yeah, Synthesis, I feel like did what they need to do. Nothing more, but also they didn't get forced, or they weren't forced, rather, into any big game-breaking defensive errors.
Yeah. There was no extended periods of play where they looked scattered and were worried for boost or anything like that. So, like you said, they kind of took care of the problems as soon as they needed to. They kind of threw daps in the air a couple of times, Declan alongside, and they said, you two know what each other's doing. Go have a play when we've got possession, but never give away any sort of real big milestones. And 1 goal is all you need at that stage. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they get a little bit desperate or a little bit more pushed, if Punishers get some fire behind them. But for game number 1,
it also looked like they have a clear idea of how they want to play it. They have Meshin and Declan sort of running around like mainnets, cutting left, right, and center, and leaving Daps as more of a quote-unquote old-school third man, old-school goalie back, who's not quite involved in the rotations, but is just there when his team needs to find a midfield challenge or to buy a bit of time for them to rotate back, like he did here. Perfectly done by Daps, getting the time, setting up Meshin. That's the Synthesis playbook.
Isn't that amazing when you have that in your back pocket? That's your third man that we'll bring him out if we need to. That's an anime villain arc style. But, I mean, that's a great start to this one. Immediately jumps on that aggression. Punishes the Punishers for their lack of commitment. This one, a little bit high over the top, and Synthesis nearly getting one of those bot match goals behind them. They're immediately back into another attack. This one kept out, and Punishers having to find some width across the field. Nice bit of creative play. No boost to follow up, and just calm from Synthesis on the other side.
Very calm from Synthesis, but also very calm from the Punishers in attack. 0 boost, 0 problems. Sort of the mantra there for both Gold Ninja and Shadowhunter. Now Gold Ninja, that's a great bit of pace that he uses on the wall. Finds the first for the Punishers. Gets bumped. The recovery is absurdly good. Meshin did not see that one coming.
That is such a nice understanding of the game, to get like almost a ground pinch with the front corner of your car to push it out past the challenging defender. Punishers have got life. We always said that this was going to be a close series or an unpredictable one. The save from Gold Ninja, making it look easy there. So I get the feeling, Mark, that this pace and this intensity is only going to increase as the series goes on.
I feel like we'll be in for a treat here if they can keep it up and keep the concentration up for what will be a very, very taxing series of Rocket League. Daps. And this another midfield clash with him, leaving the ball to Declan. Good first touch, good second touch over the center. But both Meshin and Daps not really wanting to commit there. The likelihood of scoring too little maybe here. Meshin, oh, that's a beautiful touch, but the crossbar denies him.
And that's the benefit of being patient like that. That first one, we're not going to just pre-jump something with a little bit of a counter-attack going on there. Synthesis find their footing back and towards the attack and Punishes once more. But that's the beauty, right? You hold a man or two back. If you don't throw anyone into the play, suddenly whatever comes next becomes up for grabs. And you don't have to win the 50, as it were. Oh, great saves again. Both teams testing the brackets.
Massive reaction save from Daps on the goal line. Good instinct from him. He tweeted this week that he had been experiencing frame drops. No frame drops there. Otherwise, that save would have surely been impossible from Daps. But still, it remains at 1-0. It remains a gritty game. Both teams struggling to find consistent ways through into the offense. It's almost like they have their coach with them who says, no, the XG value on that push is too low. The expected goals is not allowing it to push forward more.
The textbook says just denied, please. We do not. Protocol states. And I love that. And maybe this is one of the benefits of us having had so much Rocket League throughout the year. This is looking like refined play from both these sides. The mechanics are clean. The saves, the difficult saves are coming out. And I mean, even touches like that from Gold Ninja in the center didn't get quite enough on. But challenge shot. Shadow finally going to come through and Punishes. It's hard to tell when you've got that breakaway, but the third shot in a row is a great indicator.
And everything, if we speak about textbook, everything was done correctly on defense as far as the Punishers are concerned. Meshin jumping from below, blocking any sort of low, slow shot shenanigans. And then also Dabs coming from the backboard. Unfortunately, just the touch was lacking here, though. Save not lacking, clear gotten as well for Synthesis, who now have to run forward, who now have to play with a deficit. Gold Ninja misjudges that one, Meshin. Can't get it past Kexi. Still, though, the offense maintained. Declan, big dunk here. Do they have the speed now? Yes, Meshin certainly does, and he has an open net. That's 2-all. The Hungarian will not be asked twice.
Oh, Gold Ninja at the back, he was put in such a difficult position. He really wanted to be the first one to touch this after the initial chaos died down, but got himself over-encumbered, popped out the wall, and left a big gap behind him. And that means that an easy touch in, Synthesis back into this. But I say easy, these are still really good quality plays to get up to a loose ball like that quickly and turn it down towards your opposition's net. Oh.
I was holding my breath for the clear. The clear did not come! Gold Ninja. Lead reinstated. Dabs, good pass to the side, but then Declan, that 50 just goes nowhere for him. Yeah, Punishers. It seems like, you know, they're just there when they need to be. Their game IQ, their game awareness, just incredibly high level.
And again, precise. Like that first shot was fully a tester shot. This one, again, just force your opposition into committing to a position using resources and then come in with more pressure. This is the fire! Oh! The counter-attack. Synthesis has been great on that, and Punishers, they look to have everyone steady in the back of their net, everything that they could have wanted, and immediately the gap is found.
Declan, if you give him space in the air, that's what he can do. Perfect pop reset, perfect little pinch down into the center. And with that, Synthesis once again able to find another equalizer. Declan, again this time though, bumped away crucially by Kexi. As the final 60 seconds now start to emerge, both teams desperate to finding a possible winning goal. Meshin not going to beat Kexi on this occasion.
And again, it's still... Oh, that's a breakaway! Oh, Gold Ninja going to be the one to claim the goal afterwards, but the pass from Kexi, the intercept, turning, and that was precise car control that led to that. He needed to slide the ball down one angle. The law of reflection works in one way. Push it down, Punishers up by 1, final minute, and yet it still feels gritty, Mark.
And whilst the pass was good, I have no option but to criticize Dabs' decision-making there. What was he seeing? Driving forward completely carelessly, not recognizing Kexi had a second touch on it, and, well, that's what happens when you don't see that your opponent is still close. Meshin now, long-range shot. Kexi gets up to it just in time. 30 seconds remain for Synthesis. They don't need 30, they just need 3. Declan, yet another equalizer.
Game number 1 had me holding my breath whether we would go to an overtime, and right now we got 30 seconds left. I'm still not sure of this one. Back and forth. We went from a 1-goal game in game number 1. We're already sitting at 8 right now, and there's not a margin between these two teams. Dabs gets some space in the air, carries it along. There's no way with no boost. He actually fakes it out. Second shot gonna be coming through there and denied quickly. Still Synthesis in the supremacy, and a great counter-attack. Punishers off the back wall.
Ooh.
Oh, Ninja! Oh my goodness!
A bit opportunistic there from Declan to just punch it into the corner, but that counter-attack is bloody brilliant from Gold Ninja and Shadow. Perfect counter-attack, and now 10 seconds. Synthesis, you already equalized thrice. Can you do it quadrice? Can you find yet another one? Declan, into the air he goes. Oh no, this is dangerous if you're Kexi. There's someone running interference, but Kexi still finds the save. Jesus. It is... Wow. It is wondrous. It has sent altruism to the void. That's how good that game was. 5-4 in favor of the Punishers. And I mean, if you're looking for a main Punisher, it's something that we could see in the stats yesterday as well. Gold Ninja ult, 4 goals from 5 shots. Just efficiency brutalized.
I mean, that's a one of so many stats to point out, though, right? The number of shots from both sides. The fact that I don't think at any stage, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but I don't think we ever had a 2-goal lead.
No, we haven't.
We didn't, right? Across 9 goals, the shots were there, the confusion was there. In fact, confusion was the one thing that wasn't there. Aside from 1 or 2 little gaps like this, or like you say, Daps overcommitting off Kexi's pass, the rest of it was disciplined the whole way and never commit too much. And when you get a beautiful 50, a beautiful dunk, the perfect pass, you make sure that counts.
And I mean, I want to sort of circle back, right? Now we've seen 2 games of the Punishers.
Yeah.
Now we've seen 2 games of Synthesis on the day. And I sort of feel vindicated by the fact that everyone on the desk, and that is including you, who wasn't with us, had basically no idea where and how the series is going to pan out. And I feel like over the past 10 minutes of gameplay, I don't think the players have got either.
I changed my prediction 10 minutes before stream. I'm going to be honest right now because I just sat and puzzled through these teams and to try and figure it out. The only thing that swung it was Punisher's history. 3-0. And I mean, history counts for naught right now. Synthesis once more picks up a goal in the first 10 seconds. And Gold Ninja, that's not a terrible touch off him, but they just were so quick on the other side. And Daps finds his way past 3.
That wasn't a terrible touch, but Daps' first touch, where he just found the perfect angle down. That was brilliantly done from Daps, who now wants to have a second picking. Pass to Declan. Again, harping into the backboard. Declan can't find the bum on Gold Ninja, but that's a lot of space. Meshin, sort of MIA. No one really there to take the space.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well,
when it's punished immediately now, Meshin feels compelled to get involved in the play. Doesn't get the clear that he wants. Punishers have stabilized and they've got enough resources to throw 2 people into the pass. And what a redirect. Let's give credit where credit's due. They didn't make that easy for Shadow and he still pulls it off. So Meshin needs to be a little bit more confident in that 3rd-man role and transition into the play if they don't want that to happen again.
Probably just a bit of miscommunication there earlier. And that one, again, just a quick counterattack, and the Punishers are able to complete it. Kexi, ground double tap down, but wide of the goal. Meshin's going to make doubly sure. Now he goes forward, the Hungarian together with Declan. Fakes it out. Is it going to be in? No, a little play off to Daps. Hello.
He's
Welcome,
there.
Synthesis.
Daps is just always... What a touch, though. Meshin just perfectly tees it up in front of the net. Synthesis, hello Synthesis is a great way to do this. They've woken up, now they're all coming in together, and the creativity that these 2 teams are actually pulling off is making me happy about SSA Rocket League, Mark.
It is. If I remember back to my first cast in 2022 of SSA, this is not, we're not even playing the same game anymore.
No.
This has evolved so much since then. And now maybe the next step of the evolution with these youngsters. Let's not forget Daps and Declan are relatively young as well. 18, 19-year-olds, if I'm not mistaken. So they've got a few more years of active learning ahead of them as well. And the Punishers certainly struggling a bit now on the backline. Declan goes to the skies once again, unchallenged, tries to 50 his way through, but this time without any success.
Mark, you talk about the growth. Oh, nice finish. Like, really good regather there. And Declan just can't get it towards the center. He settles from 50 and keeps the pressure on. But the growth that you talk about from this region, I'm just thinking back, either of these teams, I think, would have been in a grand final from Season 1 of SSA RLCS. And I think they could have had a damn good shot at it right now. So this is just our first game of 2026 season. This is such a good sign, and I mean, this isn't even the 2 top favorites coming into this tournament, so really nice to see how deep the Rocket League in the region is starting to go. Nice attempts at the musty there from Gold Ninja, actually follows through afterwards. Punishers still with half a game to go, 1 goal behind.
Yet again, though, we can't have multi-goal leads. Still yet to find one in this entire series. Gold Ninja is going to be beaten by Declan, but crucially gets 1 touch to it. Could have soared right into the net there of the Punishers, and it does! Own goal Pyro, I think we've got a play for tomorrow to talk about.
I don't know if that one's going to be making the top 10 plays on
no,
the
it
day,
has to.
but
It has to.
notable
was-
mention right there,
Yeah.
definitely. And that's the thing, is when you're trying to get creative, when you're trying to work that plays, understanding that you're under pressure and that something's gone wrong, trying to bail yourself out. Sometimes it goes right. There are moments when it goes wrong, and that's one of them. And finally, the first multi-goal lead of that.
Certainly not what the Punishers wanted to see at this stage in the game. Certainly not the way they wanted to concede either. But hey, you deal with the cards that are dealt to you. Daps doesn't have enough boost. That's a long clear out of Kexi. Meshin, not enough boost himself. Is going to miss, actually. Kexi playing for the miss, but not confidently.
You're pushing up too far when you're getting that sort of bounce. You've got to leave that to someone behind you, but the pressure is on. Punishers have found themselves a bit of footing in here. Kexi gets denied, and Meshin taking it a long way through, in fact. Synthesis immediately relieving the pressure on their side and turning some on themselves. Denied out. Golden Ninja has some space. He was so good in that previous game. It's off the backboard. Follow-up shot. Gonna be setting it high. Baits out two defenders. Soft shot to follow. It's gotta be more confident than that.
Power lacking, but more and more whiffs are creeping in slowly but surely. Pressure getting to both teams. This isn't as clinical as games 1 and 2 have been. That's a great dunk. Declan, can he race to the ball? No, Kexi will beat him. Shadow Hunter once again with the redirect. The lifeblood of the Punishers.
Okay, so straight backboard shots, not great here from Punishers. Redirects and turning it in from ridiculous angles. Give it to Shadow when he's pushed up. He will find a way. Apparently we have a playbook. We're starting to see what this is like. And Punishers now 60 seconds, or back by 1 and immediately into the offense.
Certainly one idea of the Punishers that we've seen quite a few times is find Shadow downfield and let the man work his magic. Can he work it once again? Shadow, great pass down the center. Daps covering infield nicely. With that Synthesis moving forward, having to bring a little bit of calmness to this game now. Daps, we saw the fake plays yesterday. This time he can only fake it past 1.
But it's got some space. It's gotten them an overlap, and now it's about resource management. All of the Punishers having to share that one boost pad. This means they've got one challenge, one charge down the field, and Synthesis happy to bait them in. Maybe a little bit too close to home. Daps tries to set it up high. Punishers, though, have gathered themselves into a good position. Now 2 in the air from Synthesis. Maybe the panic starting to set in a little bit. Trapped in the last 10 seconds. That's the breakaway. Down the field to Kexi. Returns it straight away onto the backboard. Tucked away down the side. Shadow, one last attempt, but it's broken free. The long way down if Punishers want to go to an overtime. But Synthesis, they have just turned game number 3 into their hands.
Well done there in the end from Declan as well. He knew he had every option available to him. It's impossible to read for the defender, especially when someone with boost floats behind the ball on 0 seconds. It's an easy one. And with that, Synthesis, they sort of drag it over the line. It wasn't confident and it wasn't comfortable, but in the end, it was enough for them to get it over and done with.
Yeah, when your decider is an own goal, that's not a great victory. It is a victory. That's the important thing. You've gone now to 2-1 up, but the series as a whole is still so unpredictable. I mean, this next game tends to feel like the decider in most showdowns, but in this one more than ever, if Synthesis goes up 2 games, that might be the buffer that they need. But Punishers have certainly looked better the later the series have gone.
Yeah, and Punishers are looking good and looking better, but at the same time, I feel like that Synthesis is sort of slowly but surely getting their stride. We talked about them being like slow starters, right? We talked about them being sort of a bit of sluggish in the beginning, and now they're sort of trying to and starting to figure out the Punishers game. Yes, they still leave the long pass to Shadow open. That is something that they definitely have to talk about, but otherwise their midfield presence much stronger. And overall, I feel like Synthesis slowly but surely getting a grasp of control onto this game and onto the series that in game 1 would have been unthinkable. Let's go though, game 4. Punishers sort of need that win here.
They really need their win right now. I mean, you don't want to leave this to the end, and that's a great start. Denying Synthesis the opening goal and taking one for yourself. A really nice challenge in there, and Good link up. Kexi realizing he didn't have the angle, and no hesitation from Gold Ninja, who has been a name that's been brought up more and more. He's in the play to make something happen, and then they'll deal with the fallout afterwards.
Yeah, exactly, and Gold Ninja just had the speed there in this instant. Declan, though, can he have the catch? Yes, he can. Declan, 50-50, leaves it to Daps. That was the second best outcome that Declan could have hoped for on that 50, and it came true for them. Synthesis find a quick equalizer.
Quick equalizer, that's devastating. With Punishers already under pressure like this, and I mean, that just shows you don't ever relax. There is no buffer time after a goal to just settle back in and take a long time to build up plays. Synthesis in again, and once more forces Gold Ninja into a really nice skirt around past his own goal. Synthesis keep going. Shadow trying to break it out. Chad doesn't have a lot of boost to work with, but has found the yardage that he needs. And immediately absorbed by Daps. Kexi to stop the charge out now, and Punishers looking to present a powerful position here.
Very aggressive press from the Punishers at the moment, trying to not let the ball go too deep into their own half, but Declan has got other ideas. Declan trying to find the bump on Gold Ninja, not able to connect on it. In the end, Punishers able to clear their lines, and again they find out Shadow Hunter. This time though, the sight, the laser visor, just a tiny bit off. Not here.
That you can start to see goals at this caliber coming 10 seconds before. You throw a powerful shot onto the outside post and draw two defenders into it. Synthesis is in recovery mode from that moment onwards, and Punishers, they go nowhere. They maintain their presence in their opponent's line, and this time it takes two shots to get themselves their second goal. 1 goal lead, a rare position from them that we've seen, Macht.
We've seen it a few times in Game 2, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And even in Game 2, the Synthesis was able to equalize 3 times. So this is anything but over in this particular instance. Gold Ninja quite get it past Declan. Daps is there to collect. Kexi on low boost, maybe something there. But no, touch does not quite come through. Meshin, opportunistic shot, leaves it into the infield. It spills there. Synthesis looking to pounce on the right position, on the right play. Meshin, 0 boost, 0 car.
Oh, there's one way to deal with it right there. A couple of explosions to litter the battlefield, and Punishers have got themselves the space. They've got themselves a backboard touch. Daps quicker to it than anyone else, and finds again a rather drained backline here of the Punishers. They've got work to do, and leave it to the second bounce. Kexi got to get some momentum on this ball with 0 boost behind him, and Shadow charging through, but it's not going anywhere. Synthesis, they finally gonna get the goal in, the equalizer off the boot of Declan through here, but that was just death by 1,000 cuts by the end of it.
Yeah, too much damage, too much resources needing to be spent defensively for the Punishers, but I feel like Meshin is very happy that Declan was there, because that was a shot that Meshin needs to take in about 10 out of 10 times, 11 out of 10 times he needs to score that. But no, he didn't. Declan did in the end, and now, together by the power of friendship, they keep it at a 2-all with the Synthesis now halfway down in this game. Punishers looking strong. Synthesis now moving forward once again. Gold Ninja. Daps leaving it for Declan. Don't necessarily agree with that decision, but hey, in the end, it did work out quite well.
Yeah, he was checked by Kexi then, and that's why it was a difficult path and ended up in the corner. Punishers hold strong though, because their presence. They lose a car along the way, and a bit of a respawn coming in for Gold Ninja, but that just means he's back into the fight so much quicker and able to take this ball onto himself. Pops it up towards the sensor. It's been Synthesis quicker in the air, time and time again on those loose balls, but Punishers still managing to keep that possession. Trying to find it down. Declan push it towards the corner, and now Kexi can't really push up too far. Bit of a retreat coming out there, but Punishers still looking quite comfortable. Synthesis untroubled on the other side, though.
Synthesis, indeed, look fairly stable on defense, but now got to deal with Shadow Hunter. That one was quite easily cut out by Declan. Daps moving forward. Daps once again. This time, Gold Ninja, the end of his adventure in the offensive half, though. Can the Punishers again find a lead? Can they find a way to break through? Gold Ninja, ceiling pitch attempted, but ceiling pitch, unfortunately for him, failed. leaving Synthesis with a lot of control defensively, leaving them with a lot of easy balls to deal with. Gold Ninja once again from his own backboard, this one lacking. Declan taking control, and as far as Shadow. And Synthesis, once again, it's not necessarily trouble, and the Punishers, you sort of feel like they have to move forward, they have to force the issue. If they go 3-1 down here, it could be very, very detrimental to their entire series run.
Man, Mark, even in very close series, we tend to see like little breakaway, break open matches where someone suddenly wins 4-0 and then the other team does it equally on the other side. But right now, in the last 20 seconds, we're still deadlocked. Every one of these games down to a single goal and not an overtime yet. Might not need one now as Synthesis up by a goal, and of course it's off Declan. Meshin getting so actively involved after a stint in the gulag of defender, but making his free time work for him.
And the speed that Declan had on that read from the backboard, absolutely sublime from him. 10 seconds now for the Punishers. Shadow looking for Kexi. Kexi actually leaving it on the first time go around. Dabs, second touch important. That's going to just hit the ground. Synthesis are on match point.
Oh, that is big. Chat predicted it. The panel was on this. The fates were not, apparently, when it came to your coin toss, but I am starting to genuinely worry about my prediction of Punishers winning this. But at the same time, I still fully believe that the series is not over. One goal a game. But Synthesis, they have not let any sort of historical problems plague them today.
No, and you mentioned it in the Swiss stage, and I wanted to quickly cast my mind back to that matchup. Unfortunately, we don't have any game results, but it must have been a similar series like this one, where it's just very close, and one or two mistakes sort of define whether or not you win that series or whether you lose the game. And I feel like today, on this Saturday, the 29th of November, Synthesis is just that iota cleaner, that tiny bit just more synced up, more synthesized, some may say, that they are able to just find the way through the Punishers more consistently.
Yeah. They're faster to the ball. I feel like, especially the higher it goes, the bigger the time difference goes between the two teams. And when they get those touches, it's like you say, they have a clear idea of what they want to do and execute it with mechanical precision. They're going, okay, we're going to hit the backboard and our next player is going to follow up pretty cleanly. And they do it time and time again. Punishers can hold resolute for a while, but not when it's that caliber of shots. Synthesis now in a wonderful sunny disposition, it seems, as we go with them this game. 5 minutes separating them from a seat tomorrow on Championship Sunday.
And so let's see what they can do. Can they bring it to Championship Sunday, where, well, they would face the loser of 5 Fears versus looking for Orc. So the difficulty is only going to go up from now, of course. Kexi, though, that's a great touch around. That's a second dunk attempted. But the defense from Daps, it holds firm. Declan moving forward. Meshin can't quite reach it. Meshin looking for the dunk, but again, misses it by an inch.
And little plays like that, you got to go for them because they can have such impact. I mean, this one is a great dunk to keep it down the Punisher side, and Synthesis going to maintain possession. Kexi with no boost actually finds the touch there. I think that was Shadow deflecting it on the way past. No, must be Gold Ninjas. Do you see Shadow taking control of the towel? Ball forced towards the orange net. Gold Ninja with work to do off the bounce, actually. Synthesis just calmly try a different approach, it seems.
Yeah, they are trying to play it a bit more traditionally, in the sense of less rush and go offense, more pressurizing. Meshin, that needs to be a goal. Quite an open shot for a player of his caliber. For a player of every caliber for every player of this caliber in this lobby, you need to make it. You need to score the 100% chances. Meshin leaves that one on the table. 0-0 still. As Kexi can't quite pinch it out. Dabs takes control. Does he have the slip? He doesn't need it. Dabs goes for the bump, but Meshin is too far away.
The bump works when the ball's going a little faster than that. Then you're actually forcing, but 3 is enough time, and the ball floats in front of the Synthesis net. Punisher's not diving into it just yet. Shadow looking to make some space. Actually does get it down, but jump just half a second. Kexi came past in a flash with the right idea. Punisher's now have to take a step back, rebuild, and try once more as Synthesis regather. First half of this game down to 0 apiece.
Still, it's a reminder of game 1, with goals very hard to come by. But Punishers look a little bit less threatening in offense. Declan has an opportunity. Kexi sprints back just in the nick of time. Now can take a bit of pace again away from the play. Good 50-50 though. That one's trickling mid-mission. Another 50. Every yard, every meter, hard-earned. Declan is going to leave it to Daps, but the shot too... the ball was too quick for him to get the shot on target. Meshin waiting patiently. Shadow, low boost. That's going to be awkward for him, but he does well.
Sorry, Mark. I may have thrown you off there a little bit. That was tense moments for a while.
Oh, no, it was.
And they've just come forward, and they've always got another little touch. And we're going to make this a little bit more difficult. Even right now, you're not getting past the halfway line. We're casually going to air dribble it past your first player, force the second into a jump, and Punishers desperate to get out. That's a really nice attempt. Shadow, what can you do? Off the ceiling, gets the first touch. Dunks for the second! Oh, Punishers, you only needed a moment, and it is glorious.
And once again, it's the tried and true tested combination of, just hit it really far and really long, look for Shadow and let Shadow work his magic. 90 seconds left to play. 1-0 in favor of the Punishers, but for how long? Daps can't quite find the bump on Shadow. Meshin keeps the ball in the orange half, and now it's going to be 80 seconds of prolonged defensive work. Long clear, Kexi, is that going to be in? No!
2 crossbars, but another jump. The second one, of course, like a thief in the night, secures the goal, and with confidence. This is the sort of speed that we've been looking for from Punishers. That is so quick into the air. He beats anyone from Synthesis by a mile, and 2 goals. Marked, we get the elusive 2-goal lead, and not the way the series would have indicated before this.
Nah, definitely not. Punishers, their first multi-goal lead of the series coming not a moment too soon. Declan looking for Dabs. Redirect play attempted. Shadow on the backboard. He's seen this one 1,000 times. He knows there's someone waiting there. He's normally the one waiting there for the Punishers offense. So he knows where to be on defense. 44 seconds. Synthesis need a goal, and they need it quickly.
Great touch. The mind games coming out of Synthesis have always been so good, and they've been used to great effect this series. The pass into shot, though. The space in the center was gigantic. Gold Ninja, he did so well, but too many people turning in the corners from the Punisher left that backline vacant, and Synthesis, oh no, with 33 seconds left, Marked.
It's an absolute rocket that Declan launches off the top of his car after that pass by Meshin. But they need one more of them. Declan, though, first task with defense. 1 touch, second touch in the air, denied by Kexi, and now the goal is wide open. Meshin, this time he stands firm. Not another 50-50 that goes wayward for him defensively. 15 seconds, not a lot of time remaining. Declan, second touch, third touch, going on the backboard, looking for a defender, finding a defender. There's a demo at the goal line, but no Meshin to finish it off. Kexi into the side corner. Dabs keeping it up high, and now Declan's got the boost advantage. Declan's got time, but also no touch. So we go to game 6.
You know what, Synthesis, they did everything that they were supposed to do, and even a little bit more in those last couple of seconds. But there was that 2-goal lead. That was the difference. That was the first indicator of the series changing tack for a second. And Punishers utilized that. Even that buffer gets chiseled down by 1, though. And Synthesis still looking so dangerous, but forced into more saves, a couple more shots on the side of Punishers, and a little bit more desperation, it feels like, or at least fire, desire, hunger, whatever.
And this sort of also, though, like, yes, there is more hunger on the Punisher side. They definitely want to force it to 7. But I also feel like Synthesis, it's an ugly head that keeps repeatedly rearing its head. And that is they can't close out series. Yesterday, in the group stage. They were up in the upper bracket against Team 10, lost the last 2 games on the trot. In the lower bracket against Rounds, they were up 2-0, had to defend it on Champions Field again to make it to today. So Synthesis, a big problem for them. Just close out the series, man.
And it's difficult to pinpoint exactly why, because I haven't really seen anything falling apart. I haven't seen a lackadaisical attitude coming out. They're still, pretty quick to every ball. They're contesting things. They're pretty calm on the back line. It's just a difference. Maybe they inspire that sort of fire in their opposition and then are not ready. Take a little bit of time to calibrate back to the new pace of the game. And they've got one more game in the bag if they really need it. But Punisher's happy to at least pick up a second game in the series. One more as we head to game 6.
The Graveyard of Dreams. Neo Tokyo. Would it claim yet another victim? That is the big question as Daps chasing that one. Gold Ninja gets it to the side. Well, Declan looking for a teammate in mid, but no one was to be found. Only his opponent in Kexi himself lacking a few resources to meaningfully drive this ball forward. Opening minute again. A lot of stop-start, a lot of difficulty finding dangerous positions in offense. Meshin into the mixer. Declan is there to keep the ball deep into the orange half.
I like your phrasing there. Difficult to find positions in the offense, because, even right now, how many times do we almost dismiss a backboard touch right now because they're coming so furiously, and the defensive work from both of these sides have been the core part of this series, I feel, Mark. You might disagree, but I haven't seen wild craziness on the backboard. Most of the plays have been dealt with kind of in that middle third of the field on the other side.
No, I completely agree. Both teams are more than happy to drop back when they need to, but they'd rather press forward and actively defend. It's the difference between active and passive defense, and both teams sort of enjoy that active defense a lot more than they do the passive reactionary wait on the goal line to make a save kind of. The sort of more old school approach to defending. And that just makes this one a interesting watch tactically, but a difficult watch because there's not many highlight plays. Maybe here, Declan bump off the backboard. Daps is there. Got Gold Ninja. Finds a great 50-50. Get away from harm's way. Mesh and reset, but that's going a little bit away from him.
It almost feels like you sit in the stalemate and then you get a breakaway normally by someone like Declan taking to the skies, and then it becomes a furious little slugfest from both sides. Punishes with a counter-attack.
Oh.
And this time, no time to settle back into that little stalemate. It's Punishes to end off the plays and give themselves a 1-goal lead.
Just a little touch into the center by Gold Ninja, and for once, they actually have the speed to break them defensively. I feel like usually the speed advantage has been with Synthesis, but Punishers able to speed up a tiny bit, finding a better position for themselves. Kexi. One touch, immediately met by Declan. Gold Ninja leaving it for Shadow and Kexi. It's a better idea here for the Punishers. Kexi lands downfield. Can't quite get it on target. Declan now into the air. But once again, immediately met. They know they cannot allow Declan time in the air.
It's so nice. We're seeing little ground pitches, fakes, demos that aren't leading to like a breakaway goal. The teams are still able to deal with it. They're a nice little attempt at the offensive demo, a bit of a physicality in the goals, but it's not one little break that's leading to a goal. The teams are adapting so well and stabilizing and reinforcing each other that you've got to find more, it seems. There's got to be a string of good luck or great plays to create anything, and Punisher's looking to create something here. Shadow rolls it up, rolls it across. Gold Ninja to put it home.
Shadow continues to impress. Maybe a little bit of lady luck assisting him there on the bounces and on the pinch middle. But you make your own luck. Shadowhunter's been the defining player, I feel like, offensively for the Punishers, and now he does his jam once again. We all sing to his music, but is his music loud enough to blurt out Synthesis moving forward? 90 seconds remain on Neo Tokyo.
Is this the era of the Synthesis music, though? Has EDM taken a back seat, or are they just waiting to make that bass drop to take the series home? Maybe not in this one. 70 seconds for 2 goals in such a hard fought, and especially when you're on the background right now. Ball coming down, nearly taken advantage of by the Punishers. Looking for something more off, of course, Shadow, and if anyone can create it, 10 more boosts, then he would have had the extra touch there to set in the back of the net. Wasting time, maybe all that the Punishers need to take this to a game number 7.
Do what Synthesis can't. Close out. That's a great demo though from Mesh, and Declan has got an open net. No, not quite open. Kexi sprinting back with the Synthesis, drawing out the playbook in its entirety. Great heads up demo from Mesh. Once again though, in the midfield, it's not necessarily what they need right now. They want to find a goal. Shadow, that's a great touch from him, forcing Declan onto his own back line.
Shot from the center. Punishers, they're not happy to rest on their laurels. They want to make this the most decisive victory of the series so far and go in with all the momentum towards the grand finals. They've got themselves a smile on their face already. This is the one time, Mark, I really wanted to see those player cams, because right now the Punishers may be taking a breath. This is the time when everyone sits back in their chairs until the buzzer goes, because it really has come down to this. Resolute in the series. They're not giving up just yet. And suddenly my prediction looking a little bit better. Game 7, let's go.
Oh boy, we're in for a treat. First series of RLCS 2026 here on the main broadcast, and of course we go all the way to game 7. But Alt, now I do have a question for you, because we do have timeouts. Neither team took it.
Yeah.
Synthesis just lost twice on the trot. Surely they need to take it here to just calm down a bit.
To break Punishers. You know, Punishers is feeling too good. They're seeing the ball right now, and it's such a common tactic in sports across the world to just take it when your opponents are up. I think that would be good, because Synthesis was out of that last match. That was the most disparate scorecard that I've seen in a while. A single shot to your tally, and that's it, is not enough work. So if you can't do it for your own benefit, at least try and sabotage your opponents.
And the problem is, you could see the pressure really getting to Synthesis at this stage. You could see that the communication was breaking down. There were more double commits. There was more it was more unclear as to who would go for a ball, who forces the opponent, who actually then goes to a challenge and collect the easy 50-50 on the end of it. Synthesis needing to level up again and needing to come back to their calm and collected self. No timeouts taken. Champion Fields beckons, and Gold Ninja wants to make his first top 6.
If you don't stop the train, it keeps going. That's kind of how physics works, right? Quick lesson for everyone out there. And the Punishers, they charge through there 2 seconds. Basically as quick as a goal can come out there. And in game number 7, we already have a little bit of an advantage towards the orange side. And the psychology behind it is showing, dancing around the ball.
A lot of pressure now for Synthesis. This is the worst start imaginable for them, and the Punishers is floating. They're using all that momentum, that snowball going down the hill. I know it's summertime in South Africa, but they don't care. They go dune skiing here, the Punishers.
We're gonna landslide here if you want at that stage. That's a decent South African analogy, right? And of us, Twitch chat, you know what to do at the stage. Some challenge coming out here right now. Seems like there's trembling on both sides. So Synthesis in a presence of danger against the Punishers, and a little bit of a dive through, desperate from Synthesis there. I mean, the other part about this, Mark, is you're coming into this now having not scored a goal in the last series at least. So nearly 10 minutes of gameplay behind them without a break.
10 minutes of gameplay, and also the problematic nature of, well, the Punishers just cruising on momentum. That's a great demo though from Daps! And Declan can evade one by himself as well. Heads up play. Brilliant counter-attack. Synthesis are back.
That is a game sense that is present in very few people, I would say. We so often see that last second demo that clears away the defender and no one has time to react to it. But that was so far ahead. He was going, oh, okay, there's one guy. I'm up here already. Let's make something happen. And save coming out from Kexi to keep it level. Both teams playing their utmost right now, understanding the relegation comes at the end of the next 3.5 minutes.
Let's not forget we're in the lower bracket as well. Elimination for the loser of this one singular game of Rocket League. Completely and utterly inseparable are the Punishers and Synthesis. There has to be a separation somehow. Mession's got a lot of trust in Declan to make that save on 0 boost. Luckily for him, that trust does pay off. And now Declan into the skies. Over one. Goes for the bump. Can't find it.
Perfect play for the bump. That was the exact timing for it, and he was so close behind it. That would have been an iconic play in the considering the stakes right now. And that's what I love to see from Synthesis. We've seen confidence from them the whole way, willing to set themselves completely ready to go full in for a play and bail out at the last second to sell everyone on the field. And you can imagine the communication. Meshin nearly finds an incredible angle off the ceiling, but Synthesis looking for something. They found their feet. They've got some presence.
Meshin once again trying to bait out the defenders, but Kexi and Shadow on the back line, they stay patient. Declan, it's a better phase now for Synthesis in the attack. Found their mojo, they found their groove. And have they found everything? Security by Declan has been done. Declan again trying to find a demo on Gold Ninja. This time though, no success for him. Synthesis in the driver's seat firmly. 2 demos, but still a survivor in Gold Ninja.
In their most important time for a long clear, he does it perfectly, gets the space out. Now everyone back into the fray, and Punishers take a look towards their opposition's net. They denied that halfway constriction of their opponents, but maybe baiting them to your side of the field is a better play. Kexi has got some space, he chips it up nicely. Declan, nice read onto that, and he's going to link up once more with Meshin. Going to recollect it, take it high, goes long. Doesn't get the flip reset that he needed, but picking up the boost on the way out gives Synthesis a look.
Crucially, you said it, the boost steal resources being denied to the Punishers, but that 50 goes perfectly for Gold Ninja. And Shadow once again just lobbing it into the center. 70 seconds remain. This is do or die. Kexi, big man player, big man moment is needed. But no big game moments have come out just yet. Gold Ninja, great catch down with Shadow Hunter as well. These two, they can't quite find their way through the defensive block either.
This is one of the most tenuous great game number 7s I have seen in a long time. We have not yet had an overtime, and we're less than a minute away from the possibility. Otherwise, it really does feel like that golden goal, whether now or as the timer starts ticking up instead. It doesn't matter. Hard fight to the death. And Punishers, they're coming forward. It's an awkward bounce. A couple of people join the fray and get themselves into awkward positions. Synthesis take possession, carried long once more. Shadow goes high and gets beaten low. Physicality to add to it. Still some time here for Synthesis. The breakaway. Punishers send it down long. One more touch. Kills the momentum. And both teams, what else do you have? One more play.
Oh, this could be it. Dabs has got a lot of boost. Gold Ninja gets to it just about. And Old, you've wanted the overtime since game 1. You have it now. Champions Field, golden goal. Who goes to top 6?
I had to leave those last couple of seconds up to you, Mark, because I could not trust myself to actually get the Game 7 overtime series number 1 of the 2026 season. This is SSA. Oh, we're going to have a good year, my friends. This is Punishers versus Synthesis. Loser of 1 goal goes out of competition.
Still awkward for the Punishers now. Here in defense, Shadow does well. Can't get it quite past Daps, though. He's got a lot of boost to work with. Kexi on the 50-50. Drops straight into Declan. There's one touch. Is there a second? Oh, he denies Daps the goal!
Oh, and the ball left trickling in front of the net. Somehow neither team snaps that one, but it's Daps. He doesn't waste a second. He's immediately back into the action, and it's once more the aerial prowess They struggle to close out series, Mark, but they do it eventually.
The placement on that shot from Daps, holy guacamole. There's nothing. There's not a centimeter the Daps can put that shot more into that bottom right corner. Perfect placement, and he needed to place it there. If it was a bit more left, there was a save coming. The Punishers, they go up with that initial kickoff goal, but they can't get it over the line. Synthesis. Boy, oh boy, they had to work for it, but they made it work in the end.
Oh man, I am grateful for every second of their work. Holy cow! What a way to bring us back into the season. And I mean,
I can't.
When you get the Punishers having that long of a road to get to Game 7 in the first place, you start to expect them to take it all the way. We have a kickoff goal, we have a demo goal to take us to an overtime, and then it's finished with a placement shot like that. So many great moments, and I am sure our team has got so many. There's favorite moments for everyone, I'm sure. Look at Bromeo's face!
Guys, I don't know what to say about that game. That was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
You know, I get the feeling. Firstly, it's not beyond the bounds of reality that someone could look like me as a Synthesis fan and be 25 years old. Because it feels like Synthesis have a budget. And they're like, how much would it cost if for us to sweep a series? And they get a price. They're like, no, that's way too much. How much if we win it 4-2? No, that's too much. Okay, what price could we get if we go Game 7 overtime and win it there? Could we get that's the lowest price it is wild what they do, but you know what? They've done it. And with that, Bromeo, Synthesis, Daps and Declan, this is their best result in an RLCS. So well done to them. They go to top 6, but my word, as Skill said in chat, they like playing a lot of Rocket League.
They really do. And I'm not even complaining. Some of that Rocket League was absolutely incredible. Daps and Declan continue to prove that they belong in the top rungs of this game, and deservedly they make it way through. I was halfway through writing an apology note to the Punishers. Like, it was that close that I wrote out an entire "I'm sorry for doubting you," and so I'm gonna say it anyway. You guys pushed hard, and you have definitely proved us all wrong. It went all the way to Champions Field. So Punishers, even though you didn't get the result, you've earned our respect. So thank you.
I want to say, not all of us predicted. I did predict for the Punishers, and I feel like that was a deserved prediction. They deserved someone stepping up and going, this is a great team, because to take it that way, that far, this was not a desk sweep 60% chat prediction. That did not deserve that level of confidence when you see the result afterwards.
It wasn't a desk sweep though. The coin. No. I am the coin. I am the coin. And it went Punishers as well. No, but seriously, like now. But the question is, and I want to pose this to all three of you. Now is the Punishers now have expectations, because now everyone knows how good they are. Is that weight of expectation going to hold them back come January when it's time for the second regional?
Everything changes immediately because, none of us had them in the top 16. Now they've made a top 8. So the immediate change is, okay, they are guaranteed top 16. So they've gone from they're not making top 16 to absolutely they're a shoe-in for top 16. So that does make a difference. Their underdog status is suddenly kind of gone. It's evaporated. So on the plus side, there is, Kexi is experienced, Shadow is experienced, Gold Ninja is definitely experienced, but it feels like this is a new light, Bromeo. You know what I mean? It's new, so it is something they're going to have to weather.
I completely agree. They've shed their dark horse status quite quite thoroughly. They are no longer dark horses. They are now mid-colored horses, like, you know, a good brown or a palomino even.
Dark beige.
But anyway, I do think that both teams that went all the way to Game 7 deserve to be here. But it was that final moment of brilliance from Synthesis, from Declan and his team, to take it all the way through to the final. And I think consistently so, they were pushing harder. So very glad for them to be here. I'm glad that Synthesis made it all the way through. And I'm excited to see what they can do for the rest of the tournament.
All right, well, making his debut on the main broadcast, I am thrilled that we will be interviewing Declan. And to bring us that little interview, get a little insight into the mind of Synthesis, Bromeo, and Ultrazim. Interview Declan.
So we have Declan over here from Synthesis. That was a tough quarterfinal. Your men fought off a spirited Punishers attack to make your way into the next stretch of this thing. Firstly, congratulations on making it this far. But secondly, do you feel like your team has gained confidence as the tournament's gone on?
I would say so. After losing to Team 10, though, our confidence went down because we felt like we should have taken that yesterday. But other than that, confidence is all-time high at the moment.
I gotta say, it's really nice to see you on camera. You know, we've only ever seen each other at LANs, and to now see you making your way to the main stage, really good place to come through there. But it wasn't easy the whole way, right? And I want to chat to you about this. When do you take the time out? Because rarely does a team not take a time out in that sort of precarious position. And, you know, how do you shake off a tough loss like that at any stage when you're under pressure? What does the team say?
I think it's the moment where you don't know where you are in the game. So that's when you take a timeout. But we knew what our game plan was, so we didn't need him. So we just went straight into it. Yeah, it worked out.
You know what you need to do? Now it's just a case of doing it, right?
Yes.
Best result so far. Gotta feel amazing. Is that putting more pressure on you guys now for the rest of the weekend? Or are we setting just happiness levels at every stage?
Not much pressure, not gonna lie. We do have our games where we do need to win, but there's no pressure. I don't feel any pressure.
Well, glad you're not feeling the pressure, because the pressure only gets higher as you head deeper into this tournament. And speaking of as you get deeper, there's 4 teams who ran it along the top, and they all vary in degrees of scariness. Which team would you least like to see heading into the next?
I don't think we can verse Pioneers, can we? But that's the one team we do not want to verse at the moment, because then they will definitely end our tournament run.
Do you think that they've got the potential to win this whole thing, like Pioneers? Is that how scared they are?
Definitely. They're going to win. Definitely.
Well, Declan, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the best of luck into your tournament, and I hope we get to chat again sometime. Good luck.
All right, thank you for having me.
Heading back to the desk now, Greybeard. Wow.
I gotta give a huge shout out to Declan for being on this interview. I know both he and Daps are incredibly camera shy. It's not their favorite thing to be out there in front, but it fills me with joy to see him to be on the main broadcast interviewing and carrying himself as well as he did. Shout out to you, Daps and Declan, and well done to them. And what a banger of a series to get us going. I mean, it doesn't get much more deliciouser than a Game 7 overtime. What a banger, and it couldn't have been any closer. So Gold Ninja and the boys, they exit the tournament with their heads held high. No doubt we'll see them back in Open 2, fighting just as hard. But now we turn our attention to the upper bracket, and our next series of the day is going to be getting underway shortly, And Declan was just talking about the Pioneers. And that's who we're going to be seeing next. Pioneers versus Cosmico. And on the one hand, it feels like on paper, you just heard Declan talking about them. Pioneers clear this. However, I don't know. Are you... well, let's start with you, Macht. Are you feeling certain that's certain about it? Or do we have the potential here for a bit of an upset?
I mean, the potential is always there, but the truth of the matter is that on the Pioneers, you've got Sweaty and To Die For, who are, well, national team players for South Africa, who've been to majors, who've been to lands. They've seen it all. They've got so much confidence. And on the other side, you've got more of the younger generation, not younger generation, I mean, To Die For and Sweaty are not old, but the more inexperienced players. You've got Jeff there, and you've got Ravi. Both of them a best result of top 6 already secured. And everything now becomes a bit extra. We've talked about the top 4 being our top 4, but even within the top 4, I think Pioneers and 5 Years, that's a bit of a break. They still stand above the other two.
Chat vote is open while we're talking about this matchup. Chat can have their say. Go now. Hashtag KCP. Hashtag COS. Who for you in chat are going to take this? But Ultrasm, having, this is now our 5th season in RLCS. There's a bit of history. And this matchup for me represents the old school and the new school.
Yes.
To Die For and Sweaty, they are of the old guard, been around since the inaugural RLCS. But look at this, Ravi and Jeff. They are the post free-to-play era. These are new players coming in. Ravi, 15 years old. Jeff, high school champion, making already their best result. Man, oh man, what a statement they could make here. But inexperience is something they have to overcome.
I like that delineator that you use, the post free-to-play players. These other guys have been here since before Rocket League was a popular sport, right? So you are dealing with years worth of difference between them, but it's still a nice contest. This Pioneer side to me represents exactly what we really wanted from the 2/3 rule. 2 exceptional players joining up with a highly experienced international player. The numbers stand for themselves. And on the other side, I got to give credit where credit's due. Dark Horse is going to come from our youngsters, because these are the guys who have now been inspired, who have the passion, and who have the time to put in 8 hours of Rocket League a day. And the speed at which our youth is developing, there's a reason why we're getting teenagers on the main stage.
Now, speaking of 2/3, Bromeo, is this? We've spoken about To Die For and Sweaty on Pioneers, and then Jeff and Ravi on the other. But then there are the players in Lewis P and Stake, the Spanish part of their teams. Is it likely, or what is the likelihood of this series coming down to the battle of the thirds?
Oh man, I honestly don't think so. I think the beauty of this 2/3 rule is that they're auxiliary to the case. I don't think this is going to be decided by who has the more potent European in their team, and ultimately I think the stats are going to speak for themselves. And speaking of stats, Pioneers are clearly the scarier team in this regard, as they should be. They have been marked as our premier team on the southern tip of Africa, and they need to prove that today. They need to lay down a marker that says, hey, we're here to play, we're builders' favorites, and rightfully so. And Cosmico is definitely up against it. They are the new up-and-comers. They are firmly top 4, but today is where they get to push and show that they belong in that top 2 conversation.
Well, there we see the matchup there, Lewis P and Steak and Machtfish. Little surprised by that. On that piece of paper, Steak is clearing in several departments.
But they're also 2 very different player types, I feel like, where With Stake, you sort of also what the teams need. We talked about it earlier. You've sort of found a third of what to enhance your team to sort of fill a role. And with two youngsters, you need experience. That was, I think, the primary one for Jeff and Ravi, to get one with loads and loads and loads of experience. And they found that as in Stake. They found their IGL. Now, To Die For and Sweaty don't need that. They don't need that IGL role. They need someone to fit dynamically into their rotation with which they can gel. I mean, we saw it earlier on to Die For, but Sweaty yesterday, 2.5 goals per game, 43% shooting accuracy. He's completely on fire, and he just needs players to support. He needs players to, enable him. And I feel like with Luis P and To Die For, he found the two perfect ones.
That's the thing, is like To Die For and Sweaty have always been like that 1-2 punch. They're very aggressive players. They want to be creating opportunities for their side. You kind of need someone who's maybe not always going to be taking 3 goals per game. 1.8 goals or anything like that is still a great stat, but he's doing it at the right times and coming in to join the squad. So I like it.
The chat vote sits at 64% for the Pioneers as it stands now, 36% for Cosmico. So Cosmico, you got to get yourself. We're all the Cosmico fans. Get in here and throw your vote up. In addition to the chat vote, which is ongoing, Driver of the Day is also open. You can vote for your impact player, the player you feel is having the most impact or had the most impact for the day, and we'll announce the Driver of the Day at the end of the last series. acgl.gg/vote. Go and have your say on that now. And gents, let's work our way around now to our predictions. And I feel like with Machtfischer's new scientific approach to predictions, we'll come to him last. I came out the gate swinging first, but I'm going to hold on to mine. So Ultrasm, give us your feeling and your vote.
Cosmico is a great team. I'm so glad that these players have been picked up by such a nice organization. They deserve the development behind them. But in my opinion, this is not a question of who's going to win. This is how much more is Pioneers standing head and shoulders above anyone else. So I think this is going to be a rather decisive Pioneers victory.
A decisive Pioneers victory. And LeBron?
I'm going to agree with Alt. Look, Pioneers need to take it, and they need to take it strongly. If they don't, I will be deeply concerned. I say Pioneers 4-1.
And then Machtfish, before your coin needs a bit of information, stats-wise, leading up to this, from this top 32 Swiss stage, Pioneers are 15-0 in wins. Cosmico are 15-2, so not looking too bad. So I just wanted to let your coin know that. Can we have your prediction, please?
The coin has noted that prediction, and the coin will now show whatever is going on. I am the coin, and the coin says the Pioneers will not be denied. Give me a 4-1 as well.
All right, KCP says, okay, well, I believe that we need an upset in the region. I'm going to go. I do think Pioneers will win, but I'm predicting for Cosmico. I want that upset. I want the chaos of what that will bring. So put me down for Cosmico, and it's going to be a dogfight all the way to 7. Chat disagrees, as do the panel, because 66% of chat say KCP will win, and Amiga, well, it's gotten even worse, 71% to 29 as it stands now, but we will find out shortly. Our second series of the day, the upper bracket, this to guarantee a semi-final berth. Cosmico looking to unseat the Pioneers.
Welcome to SSA, Pioneers. 2/3 SSA and 2/3 Limitless. To Die For and Sweaty know well what it's like to wear the region's crown and haven't dropped a single game in that conquest. Cosmico's story is a little different. Jeff and Ravi have their first glimpse at the crown, with this being their first day on the main stage. The lights are the brightest, the opposition is at its strongest. Let's see if Cosmico can keep their cool.
Cosmico's got a difficult journey ahead of them. I think all of us, including Greybeard's Heart, are wanting them to do well in this fight. But it's going to be more interesting to me, Pyro, to know really what this new Pioneers roster looks like as they take to the stage. They've got a nice benchmark ahead of them. Whether they can clear that in leaps and bounds or Cosmico can bring some late surprises. Still up for grabs and a nice, confident way to start with a challenge off the backboard.
Yeah, Stake trying to begin with an exclamation mark. I know I mentioned the SSA players, but yeah, the Spaniards aren't shy to top fours as well from the EU region. Lewis P on 100%. Stake from teams like Giants and Carmine Core. So everybody's got a taste of greatness. The crossbar, get the taste of the ball right there. As Sweaty's going to give it another go. That one finds its way in.
Again, really nice variation in pace. Something that we've seen Sweaty adapt to so well. A couple of first shots were so quick, and it kind of Pavlovian conditions your opposition into expecting the next one to be hard as well. And he slows it down, puts it on the most vacant part of the backboard, and follows it up confidently. Pioneers up by 1.
Sweaty with the first goal. This is the player to watch this season. I'm not afraid to say the most talented player in the local scene. Won the most recent 1v1 tournament. I think in August it was that Ascension 1v1 with Snowy and To Die For being the top 3 players there. He is such great individual talent. Excited to see more from him.
A bit of a quiet beginning of the game right now. Pioneers finally give up a bit of possession, but Cosmico, they're not doing a lot with the ball. Instead, again, forced to react. Great challenge coming down the length of the field. And Pioneers in vast majority of the possession thus far. Cosmico coming 2 players into that to get it nice and long, but it's handled so comfortably by Sweaty. I mean, Pioneers haven't felt like they've been on the back foot yet, Pyro.
Not quite yet. It feels like Cosmico are trying to get their bearings and make sure they're not steamrolled here at the start. You see that offensive rotation pretty deep, ensuring that they don't get beat on the breakaway. Ravi, that's not the touch he was looking for. Has to play it back to Jeff instead. And Lewis P, that is quite the clanger off the ceiling, setting up Stake for the read off the backboard. Denying him at every turn, though, has been Sweaty.
Yeah, that's the real temperament right now of this game, has been denial at every stage. I mean, Mark and I were chatting about it in game number 1, where so many of these great link-up plays or the ideas that are coming out there with pretty decent execution are just being shut down so early. Even this one, Sweaty was there, and in previous seasons that might have gone in, but just touched the sign. Cosmic are going to have to do more work though. Sweaty's come in for another attempt, and this one is going to be successful.
Becoming clearer and clearer that the win condition for Cosmico is to stop Sweaty. The problem is, how do you do it? High flying, quickness to the net.
Pace. And you know that when he's going up with that much pace, he's got the lead on it as well, and manages to get not just a touch, but the perfect touch. This one a little high from Louis. So that one completely up to him, as whether the goal goes in or not. No one from Cosmico home, and starts to worry me that Cosmico not ready for the pace at which Pioneers is attempting to finish off this series.
Certainly doesn't seem like it, especially with all 3 getting a touch on that shot. It's not going to prepare them very well for when Pioneers crash the boards. Off the backboard, Sweaty may have looked for a second, but he's got reinforcements to give it a try. To Die For, next up to the plate, stopped by Jeff. Sweaty keeps it in the paint, but Cosmico given time. The issue is, though, Altruism, they're not given boost. A lot of disruption play here for Pioneers. They're not just picking up the full containers, they're picking up those pads as well.
Yeah, you're kind of hoping that that time includes 2 more seconds for that boost pad to spawn, but really nice bit of space that they're manufacturing for themselves right now. Demo to start it off there, nearly in the second attempt by Jeff. He's still in a good position to keep it near the center of the field, but Louis going to be able to come off the backboard nice and confidently, even get some pace towards the end, and starts a bit of a counter-attack. Great shadow play comes out from Stake, but it's dropped it down into an awkward position, and Cosmico maybe starting to scramble. Let's see if Pioneers can tighten this noose.
Oh, it is a lot of last-second defense, and that would have been Ravi with a tough save, but wasn't on target in the first place. Now he tries to take it coast to coast. Pretty nice idea, flawed execution. Clear off to the other side. Lewis P goes for the demolition. Why not?
Second goal comes up for Sweaty. A beautiful transition again, and USP is just immediately aware of what the win condition is there. There's only one person back. We've seen Cosmico time and time again be a little bit wide on their rotations. And this time, when you only got one person there and we've got the overlap, USP with the assassination, with the extra goal, and a comfortable first game thus far from Pioneers.
Again, I have to mention, I think it's just the comfort level right now from the Pioneers. All three of these players have seen main broadcast day plenty of times, but this is the first time for Jeff and Ravi to get a taste of the top 8. They've definitely got some warming up to do here as Lewis P tries to put on a 4th, forcing that backboard defense out of Cosmico. Just a few more seconds of that defense to be played, unless they turn it around the other way. To Die For gets the block.
It's a nice attempt, and I'm not sure if that was a redirect attempt or a bump attempt, but either way, trying to get involved in that play. So a bit of respect towards Pioneers and how much they can normally bring into the defense and what you're going to have to do to secure a goal against them. Not that lucky this time. They full clean sweep, but at the end of the day, I think it's great that Cosmico is here simply because they are the youngsters. They need this experience, and they're managing to get it in the upper bracket. This is not even relegation.
No, certainly not with the hybrid format. They can go down to that lower bracket, but it's too early to call that. I'm talking about Cosmico warming up here under the bright lights. You got to do it. And with the shot count at 3, it shows that there is room for improvement. Pioneers, very speedy. You mentioned it as well. When they're up for those quick aerials, they're accurate as well. Sweaty is dialed in to those backboard reads, slotting every single shot that comes his way.
I like that you point out the 3 shots. That is a decent tally coming out from Cosmico. They're going to take some time to warm up and acclimatize to this new pace, but still having your attempts. And there were a couple of really nice ones in the mix, Pyro. So I'm happy to see that these young, talented people, they know what they're trying to do. It's not going to come off every time, but now it's about a percentage-based thing. Can you get 1 of 5 shots to find the back of the net?
Yeah, they're going to get plenty of chances for sure. We should mention as well, Pioneers have not dropped a single game so far in this RLCS season. They're now at 16-0. So it's not just up to teams to take the match. It's also up to teams to give Pioneers their very first loss of the season. Will it happen in this match? Will it happen in game number 2? Time will tell.
Jeff, not disparaged at all by that previous loss. Went up for a nice technical play to start us off here in game number 2. And like you say, I mean, coming into this 15-0 before the series started sounds indomitable, but Cosmico 15-2, they're here for a reason, and that's one of them. That was a great shot attempt to test the back line of Pioneers, and Cosmico's actually got a bit of a good presence here.
There's a wonderful shot from Ravi, the breakout player from Haiba during the last season. 15 years old, the young gun finding his way on the field right now, but to Die For. What a lovely first touch to set up the aerial. Doesn't get the shot to go off the backboard, but it does set up shot for Pioneers.
Sweaty took that to the edge, giving time for his teammates to come in behind them. But Cosmico have been pretty stalwart thus far, managing to convert it down to some pressure on the other side. Gives the space to Sweaty to start with a bit of a charge, but Ravi finally manages to shut him down quickly before there was any slow space. Suddenly Cosmico with a look, with a pass, with a shot! Oh my goodness, Cosmico! That was the calm before the storm!
Listen, they haven't got a lot of looks today, so when they get them, they have to make them count. Jeff out to Ravi to slice up the defense. The first on the board for Cosmico.
Really well-constructed goal. You know, sometimes against a good opposition like this, people dismiss the first goal if it came from just a momentary slip-up, but that was just great play coming out from Cosmico and gives them a nice lead. Looking for another one. Stake on a bit of its terror weight and pressure on Sweaty. Sweaty sidesteps one. Doesn't manage to get the 50 past Jeff, who's now sitting in a dangerous position, lurking around and forcing to Die For to drain a lot of boost. He's going to be able to pick up that mid boost, but it's going to cost him his possession. And Cosmico, for the last minute at least, Pyro, have been feeling the more confident, or at least more in-control team.
Seems to be so, but I think Pioneers unperturbed as they aren't in a rush to get this tying goal, which is much like the cool and confident Pioneers team and players that we know. They know they don't need to rush into that next goal. The opportunity will come. Sweaty might just make it happen. Gets the reset after beating the first. The pop reset into the pass to Lewis P. There it is.
Yeah, I think you summed it up beautifully there. The patience from this team. They know they've got so much in the bag and comes off Sweaty. It's just the mechanical control in the air to systematically dismantle Cosmico's defense. Gets it on the backboard for the last one and hands his team a goal. Great finish at the end of it. And suddenly Cosmico's confidence maybe taking a dire hit there.
I mean, that play was the clearest indication of why you just can't give Sweaty space. That first defender had to make a touch on the ball. And as soon as Sweaty realized that didn't happen, all right, I'm going to punish you. On a wonderful mechanical play. Sweaty given space means problems for Cosmico. Lewis P, the same must go. Barrels his way through this one.
Oh, that's mean. He manages to correct his momentum after a high-speed collision. And has the presence of mind to check out the last defender. You do what you can, and that was enough. Pioneers, suddenly the tenor has turned. And straight away back to where they would comfortably be. Look at this passing play. Even the setback down towards the center. Would have liked that to go towards the goals, but nearly turns into another pass. Counter-attack, though, from Cosmico. Comes to naught in front of their opponent's net.
It was a great set play from the Pioneers. The pass just ended up being behind to die for, but he manages to be on target for that save, a necessary one, as when the kickoff didn't work out, Cosmico were able to take advantage of the play. Fortunately for them, unable to tie the ball game. Nice 50, though, from to die for. Ends up right under the ball, gives it out to Sweaty at the midfield. Chef off the sidewall, though, cannot manage that second touch. Lewis staying near the ball, the proximity, forcing Cosmico towards it to stop it in its tracks. 90 seconds for them to try and get a look at that early lead they had at the start of the game.
Gonna deal with this Pioneers attack, though. This is, you know, it comes back down to those old top teams of SSA in the past. They played these long, drawn-out attacks, and eventually something has to break. You drain Cosmico dry, you force them into these rotations, and eventually someone's going to overcommit. This time wasn't even needed. As Sweaty with his own pass and the angle to boot. That's insane.
Yeah, that was absurd. That was insane. I mean, listen, I opened the game talking about how Sweaty's the best local talent here. I'm glad I didn't need to say it. Every action has shown that so far. And we'll see if it continues. 1 minute, 2-goal lead, and who knows, there might be more still down the line for Pioneers.
It's insane that Sweaty is getting this much airtime when he's on a team with To Die For, who I think it was 2 seasons in a row for RLCS, 2023 and 2024, had player of the tournament, right, as MVP. These guys typically work together, but To Die For has been rather quiet, maybe just because of the position that he's taken up, and hasn't needed to be called into a big attack as of yet.
Die For is not afraid to hang back or set up a bit of a slower play, but I think he meters his pace well. He's set up a lot of the plays for Sweaty to get that space to go. A wonderful facilitator so far on the day. Setting up Pioneers for their second win of this series. They do allow a goal, one blemish on their record, altruism, what they go up to in the series.
You know, a goal like that, when you're picking apart that, you're feeling pretty good of as a team, right? 1 goal out of 2 matches is acceptable losses, I think, at this stage. The only record they really are worried about keeping clean is the now 17-0 for the season so far.
We're keeping count, as you guys can see. Listen, the Cosmico defense got a lot better during that game, but unfortunately, the outplays from the Pioneers' attack still exceeded. The reads from the double of Sweaty, the air dribble bump from Lewis P. I think he was bumped before he managed to get that bump on Stake. So it's just a wonderful split-second decision-making that we're seeing out of Pioneers, which is a testament to their confidence. They haven't dropped the game, and it showed there in that game.
And the split-second decision-making is not necessarily reactive for them. There's a lot of proactive set plays that they're bringing out. You talked about the cross-field pass that your teammate is jumping off the wall for already is such a nice play. I'm going to play this slowly off the backboard and bait everyone into thinking it's a shot. I just need someone behind me. Those are plays that they've run time and time again. And maybe that's what is currently missing from the Cosmic Go lineup, is that they're currently reacting to this. And wow, an interesting kickoff. The starters off as the crowd goes silent.
It's one of those rare times where the clock has to start without anyone touching the ball, because eventually the 5 minutes has to begin. Yeah, set plays already showing its face here for Game 3 as Cosmic Go are hoping to get that better start. But we'll have to work for it after the kickoff. Here comes Deny4 off of the demolition, setting up the shot. It's going to have to be Sweaty to make it fly in. Stake bumped out of the way. Jeff makes the save.
He was trying to get involved with that because Sweaty, again, when it's that powerful shot and you can see that there's a couple of your opponents still sitting in the net, you make sure to force them into making a play. And it's a good start for Pioneers, but a better rally coming out of Cosmic Go. And Demo on the backline there actually creates a chance, but it was a tiny sliver of hope from that angle. Instead, Cosmic Go just resolve themselves into the possession game, hard contested by Pioneers up to the other side of the field, but both Neutron, both with their moments of greatness that just have not come out just yet.
Yeah, still scoreless here. Stake has Jeff in the wing. Both players with Stake ready to play that 50-50. It does go to Ravi, and Jeff follows closely around the ball. Shot may come through as well, but the boost doesn't support the beat against Sweaty. Off the ceiling it goes, and neither team can really get this ball out of the corner. Sweaty eventually, though, will find an exit.
That's a big part of the differentiator between these teams, or what a team needs to do when playing at this level, is managing to relieve that pressure, managing to clear the ball out of your side of the field. Pioneers has got to die for, who's been doing that a lot, and he's not afraid to transition it into the attack as well. But having someone like Tadaipo who can take it up onto your own backboard or play it confidently out the corner like this is such a big part. That Cosmic Go's done well to restrict that for the large part of the matchup.
Right. It's a layered defense that we've seen out of Cosmic Go. They've suffered many a bump, but had that second defender in position. Will they be ready, though, for Sweaty's flight towards the net? They are with the deflection. Jeff in search of Ravi. Ravi up the backboard, set it up for the goal. Jeff lays it in.
I mean, we talked about the set plays of Pioneers, but this starts with the back pass and then into the redirect, off the backboard as well. Pioneers were never within a meter of that ball. There was no chance for them to be able to predict that play, and it comes through Cosmic Go having a well-refined team. It takes a lot of steps, but you get yourself another goal and prove to everyone the first one not a fluke. We're going to take the second lead in a row.
It could be scary here for Cosmic Go. Sweaty's without boost, though, so that makes the play a little less lethal. I haven't seen Stake with a whole lot of opportunities on those individual plays, but right off that kickoff, had the flip reset into the air dribble bump. Unfortunately, his shot wasn't on target, so the ideas are there for Cosmic Go when they get their opportunities. They are prepared to execute well. But you gotta feel like for Cosmic Go, that extra goal is still needed, because we saw what happened during the last game. It could happen right here as well. To die for becomes a bulldozer.
Man, we typically talk about placement when it comes to long straight shots, but when it comes to muscling it in through brute force, upper 90 is not normally the prerequisite, but to die for, he likes to take that extra little margin, and he manages to get himself in there just to prove me wrong, if nothing else. But Jeff, actually, great breakaway. Good counter pressure, as Cosmic Go say, we are not done in this series just yet. But like you said, it is that extra goal going to be required for Cosmic Go. And Jeff!
Jeff. It is the ground to air dribble. Pass 2. Nobody had the expectation that Jeff would take it over the top of them. And that's exactly what he did. To die for, we were talking about him being quiet, came out with that double off the ceiling. Now Jeff is showing off, everybody getting a piece of the limelight in game 3.
And that's what this series deserves. That's what it's going to take for both of these teams, it seems, to take the series back. Pioneers, of course, a little bit better up until now, but in a minute left, they may lose their win streak. Not if Lewis P has anything to say for it. Pioneers, again, just a more consistent squad to get themselves the break. The pass from Sweaty. You could not want more.
Yeah, I'm writing it down for only a 6th time. Altruism, do not give Sweaty space. He will make you pay every single time. It's just such a slick redirect off the sidewall that sets up the play thereafter. Just has a great mind for the game and how to open up the gaps on the defense of Cosmico. They've tied it up, a minute to go. You feel like this has to be the game where Cosmico responds.
You keep using that phrase. It's almost like it's important, right? Sweaty plus space equals bad. Like it's a tough lesson to learn, and Cosmico have learned it twice in this game alone. Oh, nice counterattack opportunity. Forces Lewis P. Needs to come off this wall confidently. Actually baits out Steak, but Steak drives it home, looking to extinguish any vampires being haunting his team. And Cosmico in a good position in the last 30 seconds. Confident clear down the length of the field, but maybe Pioneers investing too much to maintain possession. 25 seconds. 1 goal apiece is not the series, or at least the game score that most people expect against the Pioneers.
It reeks of overtime. Sweaty, different ideas. Out to Lewis P, east to west, and a demolition down south. Can Lewis P make it happen? The bump play on the defender sets it up for to die for. Pioneers take the late lead.
Man, Byro, when you said that Pioneers is a patient team, that they'll get to it when they need to, I didn't expect it to be so calmly in the last 6 seconds. Great pop towards the center, confidence to follow it through and see what happens. Giving themselves the breakaway. Cosmico, 1 second left. They first have to stop to die for. They've done that. They keep it up, but it's cost them everything. Steak, 1 more touch. Cosmico getting some distance. The ball flies to the other side. They would love to do this to take a game to overtime. Otherwise, they go down 3-0 in the series. This ball stays up. Oh, this one, the bounce is not in their favor. Pioneers, the 3rd in a row, and sitting on the clean sweep, perfect run up into the championship Sunday matches.
Now, what a fight from Cosmico during this game. Jeff had his play. We saw the layered defense as well from Cosmico. When they got bumped, there was someone else. But there's too many weapons to this Pioneers offense, Altruism. When it's not Sweaty making the plays happen, it's to die for, going for that insane double tap off the ceiling. And when it's not to die for, it's Lewis P with the air dribble bumps. So many times Lewis P has just weaponized his own car to annihilate the defenders and clear that space. It was a great play in the final seconds of that game. It just devastating because that was the best chance Cosmico had at getting the game.
And it's interesting to see because, like you said, Lewis P and the rest of this Pioneers side, they're taking a lot of shots. They did take more than Cosmico in that last round, but I don't feel that was necessarily the defining factor. Cosmico still put up a decent number themselves. It's the potency of those shots. And it's stuff like the little demolitions. It's stuff like the extra backboard read. It's stuff like the air dribble that just turns 90 degrees halfway through its movement and manages to find a way home. And that's where Pioneers are standing a little bit taller, 3-0 taller kind of thing in terms of series score. It's just every one of their attacks seems to have an extra half a touch at least.
Yeah, listen, I still like what I saw out of Cosmico. I mean, we can talk everything about Pioneers, but like, I think Pioneers learned that they have to respect Cosmico just a little bit more. Like, no one saw Jeff coming on that air dribble right past the two heads of Pioneers. They just gotta let them do it. So maybe it's a little bit of a push here to say, okay, Pioneers, you really want to keep that clean sheet, that undefeated record. You may have to play back just a little bit. Find yourself a little more space between the attacker and make sure you've got a block in the way. So there was a timeout here called for Cosmico Altruism. We'll see if they can rally the troops.
Yeah, I like that. You say we were close. We're doing a lot right. Here are 2 or 3 little things we can work on, and let's really give this series our all. And I think it's the great play coming out from Cosmico. Will it be enough? Even just to break that clean sweep of the Pioneers would mean a lot to them right now. And I do feel like we've said Pioneers is one of those 2 teams that really stand out, but it's nice to see Cosmico in the top 4. I do believe this team belongs here. Save on the baseline and then taking care of our stake. Tight moments.
Yeah, I think they're trying to earn that top 4 prowess with every save they make, with every play that they battle against the Pioneers. They're going to have to do it again here, but it's a double commit there from Cosmico that's going to leave them weak on the follow-through. Pioneers crashing the boards, pass over to Sweaty, shot. Oh, the placement.
That's it. That's the difference. Look how close this was being challenged immediately, and then the shot was still millimeters away from Jeff. That is placement. The audacity as well of Sweaty to go for the top right shot with Jeff right there, realizing that he had dropped down on the wall and trying to put it effectively behind or to the side of Jeff. Such a nice play, but Cosmico, they got some tricks of their own. And Cosmico has looked good on defense. It's taken big plays from Pioneers most of the time to get through.
Let's see if we get another one of those big plays there. Sweaty ran out of boost on their drive towards the net there. Into the paint he was, and off to the races he goes. Air dribble ends up as a bit of a failure as it heads back the other way. Guy for the 50. Rafi is in the perfect position, but had to backflip just to get a shot towards the net. Nearly ahead of the ball on that play. But you can see Cosmico are positioning exactly for that punish. We saw those infield passes earlier in the series. If that's the way to cut through this Pioneers defense, then that's exactly how it'll go.
Yeah, it's almost an understanding of the difference in the mechanical caliber of your team. You're knowing that you're not going to beat them with a straight-up approach. You can't walk to the front door and knock right now against a team like Pioneers. So they're trying to create anything unexpected, I feel, and that's where these little dive through there, that early challenge that cramp their opponents up or go for a risky 50, even Ravioli there driving through and trying to take out a defender. It's a good adaptation from Cosmico against the daunting opposition, and hasn't worked out just yet, but does have potential.
I wanted to see if Pioneers could continue that possession because they began it with to die for on the other side of the field. Stealing boost. That is 2 demolitions on either side of the field momentarily. Cosmico, a solo effort on the team's defense, but surviving nonetheless. And this does feel like survival. Another goal for Pioneers, and this series may end up out of reach for Cosmico.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting down to the other side, but it does feel like it's taking a little bit too much to do that as Pioneers calm. This is a casual Saturday afternoon for them. And I mean, even, I don't know if you don't jump for that because you know you're not going to reach it, or you just calculated enough that that's going out, but leaving it open that time, maybe Pioneers is slacking off a bit too much. That was a rather vacant defense.
The vacancy was created.
Yeah. Okay, I saw that on the replay.
Into the bump. Diabolical out of Cosmico. And to me, that says they're not waiting to make the goal happen at the last second. They will create their chances. They may have just created another. There it is, Jeff. The efforts compound for a Cosmico lead.
You know what? If your opponent takes their eye off the game, you hit them with a little 1-2 punch, take the game back into your favor. And I mean, off a kickoff as well. Pioneer is typically a team that is very good and very structured around their kickoffs. This time, cleanly the other way.
Okay. I was talking about Cosmico series maybe getting away from you, but is this a turning point this late lead. How can you hold on? I don't want to see them step off the gas pedal here. I want them to break Pioneers if that's going to be the way that they get back into this series. See the confidence out of Ravioli. It's tough to have it if you're bumped out of the way. Pass out here does come to Lewis P. Gets deflected at the doorstep, and Pioneers will have to start from their own side.
Minute left. Still do feel like Pioneers has got, as you said, that arsenal of weaponry behind them that they'll poke and prod and bring out a bigger and bigger hammer until eventually this minute has turned into their favor. They got a lot to work against. Cosmico has been really strong at this baseline defense, but more importantly, the defense challenging early. That one was not fast enough though. Sweaty turns on a dime. And suddenly this game, not necessarily in the hands of Cosmico.
The game plan went right back to give the rock to Sweaty, and there you have it. It's a tie game. Cosmico will have to fight a little extra to get this win under their belt. They just begin with Stake. 50 again, received by Ravi. Here comes the pass. No shot taker there. They were denied with the demolition. Stake to safer territory. Jeff with a long clear and the follow. There to follow. Here it is, Cosmico. Maybe a chance to send this to a game 5. Otherwise, it could be overtime. 10 seconds here to die for. The pass off the backboard. He forces too high. Lewis P, the next. Off of the ceiling. He's going to go for the pass back to Sweaty. Never makes contact. Ravi down to the ground. And it will be decided in OT.
Well, you know what? I thought Cosmico might pick up a game in this series, but overtime, after watching the fight, is still something that I think they're going to be happy towards. I think a lot of people coming into this didn't give them any goals in the series, let alone actually challenging it out to Pioneers and now threatening their undefeated streak. A single goal is all it's going to take. And Cosmico have proved time and time again they have the creativity, the chaos factor that they need to manufacture that. Whether they're going to do it before the Pioneers are able to create their very nice, ordered, structured defense is the real question here.
Sweaty gave it a shot, but Stake a little too easily rips it away from his hands. Plays it to the ceiling. A lot of high-level ball being played as Stake will be the next to catch it off of the backboard. Lewis P, that's a wonderful read off the backboard to counter Cosmico's momentum. Space created for it to die for. He's going to take it straight to the net and get the rebound off of the post. Another one-goal game goes to the way of Pioneers as they sweep their way to the top 4.
Man, talk about sweep. That's a die-for cut across the field, but he had the space. He knew that they had to do this as fast as possible. As Cosmico, you could almost sense that at the end there, 2 players jumping for an unconfirmed ball, trying to secure that goal that they needed to, and they end up giving it away. The counterattack was on point from the Pioneers, and they've taken the minimum amount of time, barring that overtime, but at least minimum amount of games to secure themselves the most comfortable position that they could, that upper bracket semifinals.
I'll tell you what, I think it's a good thing that Pioneers had to fight for that one, Altruism, because if every single game in that series was what game 1 was, then that wasn't going to be much of a match. Cosmico did not reach their full potential until we got to game 2, and you feel like this is a best of 9, maybe a best of 11, which should never have. Maybe we'd see that. Cosmico would eventually Greybeard, but they couldn't cut it away in that match.
Well, it feels like this gives a bit of context to what Declan said in his interview. It was like, who do you not want to face? Yeah, no, let's not do Pioneers, please. They were really, really good. And what's amazing to me is everybody agreed from pre-season kickoff power rankings between this desk, the chat, anybody you asked, we all got the top 4 bang on. After that, opinions diverge. But Machtfish, I'm going to ask you, is and I want to revisit this after the last series, because I wonder if we're heading toward a situation of the top 2 bangers distance, the next 2 distance everybody else.
Well, I will pass judgment until after the next series, but I think we
Fair
might.
enough.
I think we might. We talked about it a bit before as well, right? Where we're like, okay, yeah, we have a top 4, but it will take something special for Cosmico and by extension looking for Orc to really usurp one of the big 2. Like, you have to have, like, all 3 players have to, like, a bang on day. Otherwise, it's gonna be difficult. But to their credit, I think Cosmico, they've won a lot of hearts because I think Guns said it in Twitch chat, and I thought so as well. I didn't expect them to be that so relatively close.
Yeah, absolutely. Cosmico are without a doubt contenders, and when Ravi and Jeff start to get a bit more experience, and this experience they've had today is so incredibly valuable. The more they get, I think the more composed they become over time. However, there is a great saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I am going to learn a new trick. From now on out, I am going to predict based on solid facts and information. It occurred to me the entire last season, I predicted with my heart.
What?
And all that happened is I ended the season with a broken heart. I can't do this again. I need to become logical and rational, Bromeo. But my goodness, Pioneers look devastating.
They really do, and it wasn't a question before the before
Romeo's
the match.
going to turn on his microphone.
Romeo's
It's gonna be
muted in Discord.
fabulous.
I love it.
Okay,
my
fine.
gosh.
While he sorts
No.
he's-
That's
oh,
on
he's
me.
back.
That's
He's there.
on me.
He's there.
That's
okay, good.
That cardinal flaw of sitting in the lobby, just vibing to the guys and then not unmuting yourself. Yep, that's on me. But I just wanted to say, with regards to Pioneers, we all said, before the game kicked off, it's a matter of how much of a lead they want to build for themselves, and this was a convincing victory for them. Cosmico were close, but not quite there. And you mentioned the question, your first 2 and then your following 2. I'm happy to make that call now. I do think that your 5 Fears and your Pioneers are going to be your top 2 contenders for the season. And I feel like we're in a bit of trouble if it isn't that way. We say that we want a top 4 that's, permanently in contention of each other. But with the player base our size, you want 2 power teams. 1 team is not enough. 2 teams, that's just great. So Pioneers played the way we needed them to. Now we just need to see 5 Fears deliver. And honestly, I think that's also going to be a little bit tasty.
Since Swiss Pioneers, they were at 15-0 in terms of wins. They now go 19-0 and into the semi-finals. And we're going to have ourselves, you and me, Pyro, we're going to go over and chat to Sweaty. So,
hello.
Sweaty, how you doing? Chilling and thrilling, Sweaty. Firstly, well done, great job and all of that. But my question's not even related to the series. Did you know that Tekos was sneaking into the country, or did it come as a surprise to you as it did to the rest of us? And what are your thoughts about that?
No, we were well aware he was gonna be on Loping for the first regional. Lewis isn't obviously, but not for the first one, but he will for the rest of the season. But whether he's on Loping or hyping, we're still confident in our game plan and individually. So yeah.
Yeah, very well. Well, it's a anticipated match for sure, but that is not who you're playing quite yet today. Your match comes off a great win, Sweaty. You guys were on fire. I kind of want to talk about the lead up to it, though. Can you tell me the grind during the off season? Because I feel like you in particular were winning the Ascension 1v1. You were taking wins in the Cash Cups. Like, was this a real grind during the off season? No breaks.
Pretty much, yeah. So as soon as the rule change came out, there was like a new found motivation that came. If there wasn't a rule, I definitely wouldn't be playing this much. But yeah, I'm happy the rule came. Did well in the off season, and yeah, been grinding scrims, and now we're here on Champ Sunday tomorrow.
And again, on the preparation, real quickly, you have a new coach in Lawler. I wanted to hear a little more about what the experience has been like under that new coaching and this really new team as well, as you have Lewis.
Yeah, so Lawler, he brings in a lot of experience. He's been in the Rock League scene for ages, previously as an analyst, and then he coached a couple teams as well in his past, and he's also just a great leader. Very knowledgeable guy, and yeah, it's great to have him on the team. And Lewis as well. He comes with the EU experience. He's obviously insane. Made a top 4 in EU last season, which is crazy. And now he's my teammate, so it's great to have both of them on the team.
And then Sweaty, as it's going to sound like a bit of one of those obvious questions. I mean, right now, the way it's shaping up is it may well be a 2-horse race for the land spot, for the spotted majors, the spotted worlds. In terms of preparation, discussion, confidence, how honestly are you feeling about taking the number 1 spot in the region? And it's early days. This is open number 1. We got 6 regionals to get through. But where do you stand on that out the gate?
So yeah, I obviously think we're gonna take that spot. It's just the first regional that's more tricky than the others, but because obviously Tekos and Loping and Lewis and Hyping, but I don't think that's gonna change much. Just because I feel we're confident in our gameplay. And yeah, hopefully we can make Boston, then Paris, and every other major. You know.
Well, you're certainly off to a fantastic start to do that. 19-0 as it stands now in terms of your game. So you've certainly made that statement. And watching that series, I didn't get to see much of your Swiss games or GSL games with the watch parties I was doing. But watching this last series, you're certainly looking the part, and that you're in the right place. So once again, congratulations. Fantastic performance. The first of our semi-finalists. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Good to have, good to see Sweaty there. And as we start turning our attention to the last of our series today, so 19-0, if we look at 5 Fears, they're coming into this 15-3. However, Bromeo Guns will tell anybody who's listening that he was playing off a laptop at To Die For's house during Swiss. So that's why they lost 3 games.
I feel like what the players say and what the players do are not always quite the same thing. But the one thing we are certain of is that 5 Fears definitely has all 5 of their fears for this tournament. They are looking incredibly good and made their way through the top bracket quite convincingly, Greybeard. So to find them here at this point in this position, you can only assume that they're going to continue doing the damage that they have been.
And as you saw on the bracket there, tomorrow Cosmico will go and play Synthesis in the first of our semi-finals tomorrow. The loser of our last series will go and play Death Cloud for a shot at the semi-finals. And there you see it, our last series, 5 Fears versus Looking for Org. And hopefully by open number 2, that will be Found Org, but we remain, we wait to hear news of that. But now, Machtfish, Torres was, as soon as he was included in that roster, it changed the dynamic of that. Originally, Ravi was going to be on that roster. Werty, Eli, and Ravi. He got pinched and poached by Cosmico. And then they filled the spot with Torres, of course, with the much maligned Foot team and SSA champions of last season. Huge addition to them. Is it enough to take on Five Fears?
It's a good addition. Let's put it that way. It's a good addition in terms of you have someone that knows the players of the region already. You have someone that knows the armada of Spaniards coming in from EU also quite intimately. So I feel like it is quite logical. Personally, if I had to choose one of the 3 foot players, I would have liked to see Leoro play with the 3, but Leoro or Torres, it's sort of give or take. They're quite similar caliber.
Use your coin.
I can't remember that quickly, man. But definitely a strong pickup. And for me, if we have to sort of rank our top 4, looking for Orc would definitely, for me, be above Cosmico. Barely, but slightly above. This is my number 3 going into the season.
Chat vote is open as we discuss the final series of the day. And a reminder, this is not an elimination match. The loser will play tomorrow as well. And there we go. Chat vote is open. Hashtag 5F. Nice and easy. Just 2 letters. Hashtag LFO. Who in chat? Your thoughts in chat. Your vote. And a reminder that the driver of the day vote is open. acgl.gg/vote. Go and vote for your driver of the day. We'll announce the winner of that at the end of this last series. So we were talking about impact players earlier. And Pyro, I don't know if you have a particular, as we see the rosters up there for you, is there a clear impact player for each of the 2 rosters?
Spoke at length about guns, so I want to talk more about looking for org. My eyes are on Wordy. I was reminding the region earlier that Wordy has the most top 4s for any player who hasn't won an event in SSA. 15 top 4s. So he's gotten a taste of that greatness, but not the crown. And I think he's hungry for it. I think we've talked about him being the IGL, being a great mind, but for Wordy, it's about more than that. He has Torres on his team who have taken all those wins in SSA before. He has Eliakim, who's, when they're on the right movement, is going to be an insane addition to this team. So Wordy is setting his sights high. We are keeping them clearly out of the top 2 in these conversations, but he has other ideas for this team. I know that.
And over on the other side, your player there, Pyro?
Oh, I mentioned we talked at length about guns, and
sorry.
Happy to talk more about them.
I'm being dumb. I was still thinking about Werty. You were going on about guns, and I was still in my mind waxing lyrical about Werty. Quite right. Okay, so there we see the stats matchup. Bromeo, does that sway you one way or the other? I kind of feel like you've made your feelings clear. Does that change things at all for you?
I don't think it changes anything. It reaffirms things a little more. They've scored more goals. They've taken more shots. They've even gotten more demos in this so far, and they're looking at 100% win rates so far through this tournament and have earned themselves the favorites tag quite rightfully. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. Who can adjust to each other's play style? Is it going to be the enigmatic guns taking the way, or is it going to be Werty? And Werty scoring most of the goals for LFO so far in the tournament so far. And that is an interesting stat because I always had him pegged as a support player who basically brings up the players around him. He's been taking a much more direct approach this tournament, and let's see if that pays dividends.
Well,
just to quickly add on that one, I feel like Werty does put all the goals, but it's again a cleanup job because they only have 3 shots per game, right? So most of his shots usually come from positions where a shot previously was missed, there was a bump, there's just an opening, and Werty just analyze it, and then it's clean up on aisle 4. Werty, the janitor, comes in and should just punch it over the line. I feel like that is still Werty's job, and especially on that team. And I feel like that's his primary duty, has to be that cleanup, be the anchor, let Eliakim and Torres just run wild, and especially try to enable Eli and his mental as much as possible.
And so Werty is the professional bridesmaid, and he's still in pursuit of one day getting a proper proposal and making it all the way to the altar himself. Maybe this time. And we saw the stats, the matchup between the two teams, the matchup with Werty and Guns. But the stats are always gathered from the matches these teams have played against everybody else. What are those stats in the head-to-head, and we're yet to see that. We will have a clearer idea after this one. The chat vote is currently at 73% for 5 Fears, so clearly we know where chat's feelings lie. Let's move to the desk, and I will come out the gate this time. And in the new season, new greybeard, I'm going to predict that 5 Fears are going to win this series. But I am hoping that LFO will put up a big fight and take it all the way to Game 7. And as I say that, that's my old self leaking through, but I'll stick with it. And then Bromeo, let's go to you.
Sure, why not? Since we're talking about realistic things, I think that 5 Fears are going to take this. I don't think there's too much consternation about that. It's the manner in which they do it, and I didn't have Pioneers for a sweep, but I do have 5 Fears for a sweep. Something says that these boys are going to do some damage today.
All right, and they're going to do big damage apparently. So Pyro, echo the thoughts, or do you see something the rest don't?
How could I deviate from the purely analytical graybeard on 5 Fears? Please add 5 Fears to my prediction. I was shoutcasting their team stream the other day, and I witnessed nothing other than pure domination. I think we'll see that again here today.
All right, so we go.
Can I quickly summarize? So we've got logical graybeard and a paid actor on this desk. What has happened to my SSA? I can't believe I'm the one to bring out the randomness, but we shall bring out the randomness. How does it happen? How did it happen that the German is here, but the coin, even the coin, cannot be swayed away from 5 Fears? Like, how have we ended here? This is not reality.
I know, right? Well, the result of all the desk chaos is that we have a desk sweep, we have a chat sweep. I think currently the percentages are still 73% for 5 Fears, 27% for looking for organization. So it is pretty much. But how awesome would it be for LFO to go out there and shake things up? It is unlikely, but why not? Torres must certainly know this 5 Fears team. Our final series of Saturday, Open number 1, SSA RLCS 2026. It is looking for Org and 5 Fears.
Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. Rarely has that saying been more accurate than this very series. This otherwise so patriotic and tribalistic Werty and Snowy teaming up with an international to round out the roster. No 3 from 3 from South Africa. No, it is 2 Spaniards no less to play with Werty and Snowy. And more than that, Pyro, Guns and Snowy also a team that we did not expect to happen.
To what I thought would be a never-ending rivalry in SSA, instead, they link up arm in arm to fight the entire region together. Snowy and Guns on the same side of the field. And it's a lethal duo, lethal in the comms, of course, as we know, Mocked, but just as much on the pitch.
We've asked questions before of mentality, of how do you work together? Well, they've certainly sorted it out, but how good are they? Torres with a delayed reset, tries for the bump, but the ball not on target anyway. Werty has to clean up once again, forcing Tekos out high. Eli, that's a bad 50-50, but luckily for him, Torres was there just in time to cover it.
You know, I can't wait to see what role Torres plays in this game. It's a completely different perspective for him. For Foot Esports, we're not losing a single match. And now, none of the desk is predicting him. So it's a complete reversal for Torres, but I feel like he's still got that winner's mentality going into this match.
Oh, certainly. Like, he knows he's been winning against Guns last year, and he's been winning against Snowy last year a whole lot. So he definitely knows how it feels like. But Guns has got other ideas. Great pop reset, Torres. Though, with the mentality of a champion, doesn't let on the foot off the gas. Eli can't get it past Snowy.
And Snowy, I mean, the crown bearer of the region ever since RLCS was a thing. He was the guy that was training in EU before it was announced that SSA would become a part of RLCS. He wants that crown fitted right back on his head. He's gonna have to work for it though, Mox, because we got 2 minutes into this game, still not a single goal.
Good looks though from LFO. Has to be said. Torres, double tap opportunity. Torres! What a strike, son!
Okay. Yeah, I think he does have that winner's mentality. And it's facilitated by Wordy. He saw Torres in the wings, ready for action, and said, go on, lad.
That is what Wordy needs to do. Just be the supplier of good passes, be the supplier of good saves. Just basically do the job no one else wants to do. But you know who also knows how to win and what a winning mentality feels like? Is that man, the old man, Snowy. 1-0.
There's just a lack of preparation here for LFO. Torres with half a tank couldn't get to that aerial, and then Wordy was still half flipping to the net. So just the unexpectedness of 5 fears to briskly make their way to the net gives us our tie game.
Now with that tied game, you can basically reset the timer and reset your inner mental timer to go, okay, we only have 2 minutes 30. Tekos, a good idea of the pass looking for Snowy, but Snowy was nowhere to be found. Tekos, once again, leaving it through. That's a great pitch. Is that going to be in? No, it's slightly high.
And I didn't say no because I knew it would not be it. I just said no because please don't. Like, there's no way that that's going in, but surely this one is. A team pinch realizes itself to a swift 1-2-3 counter out of 5 fears.
That's a great pass down from Snowy to Tekos. And that's a great counterattack overall. Like, really crisp, really quick. And 5 fears from 0-1 down make it 2-1 in their favor. It might become even worse for LFO. Tekos, good control. Oh, what a pop there from Tekos! We'll glance over the miss. Guns is there to finish it, but Tekos, my god!
That's nasty work. That's nasty work. I just had to let the replay speak for itself. And this is low ping Tekos. Like, let's be honest about it. You can have that presence of mind to make those momentary plays, those split-second reactions to pop it over players like that. Having an international player on low ping ends up being an advantage, it turns out.
Well, we're looking for wizardry, and I've got to be honest, 5 fears, all 3 players are more than capable of supplying it, but that was some magic indeed from Tekos. Moving forward, though, LFO looking a bit stunned, looking to have lost their ways as Guns once again goes into the air. Guns looking for the bump on Torres, but can't quite find contact. Demo from Tekos. He's going to make some space up for Snowy, but he can't find the shot either. And now 5 fears. Well, there are certainly, it feels like there are more than 5 fears that LFO need to have.
Yeah, most certainly. Oh, and with the smoke screen, I thought they had a open net there, but instead the demolitions compound. Another one against LFO, leave them fleeting back to their net.
Werty, well, can't quite get it past Guns, and then Tekos will gloss over that touch. Certainly not what he wanted. I think there was a counterattack coming down the right wing, but alas, not meant to be. LFO, after a strong start to match 1, crumbles.
It was like everyone's hearts stopped when LFO took that lead, and then 5 fears were like, don't worry, we'll return here to normalcy. Just one moment. Let me score 4 goals. Still a minute on the timer to search for a 5th, but LFO almost find their way to a second. It will be like him to dump it off to Torres, but they're unable to escape the corner. Guns saves that flip forever. Flip reset towards the net, and Torres has to make a quick play.
19 boost had Guns when he left that wall. That is absurd work from the youngster. That catch is beautiful as well. Tekos long clear 5-1. Thank you very much.
Said they'd still search for a fifth, and sure enough, there it is. Tekos finds a break in that offensive rotation out of LFO, who are desperate for a second on the scoreboard. That'll close up shot for game number 1. 5 Fears certainly making a statement on their first appearance of the main broadcast.
And now the big question, great fake from Torres, but now the big question still remains. If you're KCP watching this, and of course you're watching this, what do you think when you see that mechanical lightweight sort of coming over? When you see that sort of ease with which 5 Fears seem to play here against LFO, does that translate into you being scared, Pyro?
Terrified in the booth right now, yes, Mike Fish. But no, for the players, of course, they're thinking about the fearless nature of 5 Fears. I think the first couple of goals occurred for 5 Fears just due to the pace in that split-second decision-making. There were some really swift counterattacks. There were some great reactions on a midfield ball that was left for anyone's taking. And LFO just ended up behind the play. But that wasn't the whole story. I think later on in the series, the physicality came to form. 5 Fears on their GSL run that I watched was big on the physical play from Guns especially. He was also boost stealing. So the matter of the fact, Mocked, is there's so many tools in the kit here for 5 Fears that LFO have to worry about.
And on the other side, there's one particular part of the toolkit missing for LFO, and that in that game 1 was Eli. I feel like we've been here before, Pyro, in years past, where we're like, every roster that Eli is on, it's always like, does he show up or does he not show up on the day? Because on his day, he is one of the best local talent that the region has to offer. On his day, Eli is arguably a top 5 player of the region. But is today that day? And that is the big question here for LFO. They have to get a higher floor out of Eli. Ideally, they want to bring him to a sky-high ceiling.
What's Wordy doing on the lo-fi decal? Chill vibes. I mean, we got playoff Rocket League here. Is it? I don't know, Mike. Is it helping his composure? He's staying calm.
Werty doesn't need lo-fi to stand. I don't think Werty can do anything but stay stoic and calm.
That's true. That's to his nature. And how do you stay calm under the guise of a shot like that, Snowy? He's going to want that one back. That was nearly barred in.
Slightly off, but off nonetheless. Here from 5 Fears as we move forward into game 2. Tekos and Guns looking to combine. But that unholy duo stopped in its tracks. Now Tekos decides to go solo. But again, bump gets connected. Ball or player. One gets past me, but never both.
It is not yet. Torres. Ooh, what a catch on the ground there. Went for the flick play. Couldn't muster any power behind it, though, and Eliakim. Ooh, does get that second tap, but felt like there was more to be desired on that one. A reset would have sent that ball much more towards the net. Torres on the ground, the air dribble could do just that, but it's whisked away. 5 Fears putting up a wall against everything.
Big difference right now for LFO, between LFO and 5 Fears. 5 Fears looking for one another, whereas LFO's offensive pushes are more so just one after another, not really connecting with each other. Tekos, that was open, my dear friend, and thus it will not be in. Try to overcomplicate a simple equation, and thus should pay the price.
I am just befuddled by what I witnessed. A wide open net, and we took it to the ceiling. All right, couple minutes down in the game, and this is where we were, actually in game number 1, scoreless for a couple minutes, so teams are patient to get that first goal underway.
Snowy, I'm quite gonna pass the midfield. Guns just makes Werty's decision-making a lot easier by demoing Eliakim. Still coming back now is Werty. Tekos, though, has got support in mid, is gonna use it, but the pass is a little bit too far forward. Eli collecting that one easily for him. LFO stabilized their defense after the late bleed of game 1, but really don't find a lot of presence in the offensive half. Long clear down the pitch. Eli is into the safe corner. Is Werty. Not really anything to gain by that bang, but other than that, doesn't really have that many options to go for either.
Right, sometimes you just need an exit, and for LFO, this exit actually could be lethal. Lykem's going to take high. Backboard defense already set up shot there by Snowy, and Wordy just blitzing in for the ball, trying to regain control. But again, it's a throwaway, and LFO have to be a little more conscious about these heavy first touches because it's transitioning that power of the ball right back to 5 Fears. Again and again, that's another case where they're just giving it away. And look at Tekos already ready for the disruption on the other side of the field. Couldn't get the bump in time.
He was certainly hunting though, and now with time looming and time ticking down, Guns supplies some magic. Crossbar down, Tekos there to finish. But Guns having a bit of space and using it to perfection.
Okay. All right, Guns. That's what we were waiting to see. And we got it. Tekos, by the way, was not going to allow that shot to not go in. He knew exactly what Guns was cooking up. The vertical angle was there. It's going to be tough to lay it under the crossbar. And that's the kind of confidence that you want in your team. However, off the kickoff, LFO nearly equalized.
Just well choreographed though from Snowy. He said, I'm only going for the man. I don't care what the ball does. And Tekos like, fine by me. Just help me out there. And that's exactly the defensive help by forcing for your teammate that these players all do so incredibly well. Here playing together and defending together as a unit is now Snowy. Tries to have his hand in magic. Torres says no thank you very much. You have to move forward if you're LFO, but you're constantly stuck on the back. Tekos 1v3. Can't quite force him through.
He doesn't need to, because he's got his teammates ready to go. Guns denied of the effort, but he'll send it right back to Eliakim. A knockout blow is taken right back to create the avenue for Snowy.
Guns just, is being in net, making sure. I don't think Eli was going to get to that. I don't know if you disagree with me, but that
I think you're right. Yeah.
That was just to make really, really sure Eli was never going to get her. And speaking of Eli, hello, here he is. Eliakim pass to Werty, but the janitor misses the cleanup.
Arguably, Eliakim, maybe that double should have been in. I don't know. Either way, LFO going to be scratching their heads, wondering why this isn't a one-point game, why they don't have a better shot. And taking this to overtime. Now they got to send the house 20 seconds down too. Torres going to go for this one. Pass won't come through. Corner defense out of 5 Fears. Just not allow LFO to see the net. So Torres takes straight to the middle of the field. That is usurped by Snowy. Reset play. Guns. Shot denied by 2. Snowy back to the midfield. There's just no time for LFO. And 5 Fears will get halfway to top 4 with the win in game number 2.
And one for the road. Snowy finding the third after a lot of work done by Guns to get it central. Eli helping out involuntarily. But, well, in the end, 5 Fears, 2-0. And again, Pyro, we have to draw the parallel to the Pioneers because in that earlier series you said with Altruism on cast, it's closer than expected. And I feel like this is this series here, 5 Fears LFO, that's further, there's a bigger difference than expected. 18 shots by 5 Fears is diabolical.
Yeah, Guns with double digits on the shot count. That is, that's not nice. I guess I'll put it that way. For LFO, they're under the barrel of a lot of pressure right now. I mean, it's not just the gameplay. It's also the pressure of having to face one of the top 2 teams. You mentioned it, the comparison needing to be made of 5 Fears and Pioneers. I talked about it a week ago. It's a coin flip for me because what we're seeing out of both teams in this upper bracket is sheer dominance. There's really no other way to put it. But, in the case of Pioneers, the last 2 games in the series were really close with Cosmico. And our panel's rating LFO consistently at the number 3 spot. So if 5 Fears continue to stretch farther and farther away in this matchup, maybe some people might consider them having the edge.
But also, truth be told, I think Pioneers and 5 Fears are 2 very differently made up teams. I feel like Pioneers is the more classical rotation based, trying to like outsmart and out tactic your opponent, whereas 5 years is just go. See ball,
They are very
hit
much
ball,
just go, yeah.
mechanic. And that's sort of the way they... I mean, you've seen Guns these past 2 games, right? That's basically everything Guns has been doing. Every touch was an attempt at a reset or a reset.
Yeah, or he's on the other side of the field stealing boosts before they can even get back on their side of the field. So I completely agree with you. It's why making the comparison now before we even see them on the field is like a little bit, we might as well just wait till Sunday if we get that matchup.
Yeah, but
which we should,
now we can just talk about stuff and not be immediately proven wrong, you know? We're just future-proofing ourselves here.
I like it. I like it. That said, I do want to see if there's a bit of Cosmico energy in this matchup, just to make as many comparisons as we can, because LFO, they need a comeback. They've had their fair share of opportunities, obviously not nearly as many as those double-digit shots that we saw from Guns, but they've already proven the path to make these games close. So they've got to capitalize on those strengths. It's game number 3. To be under the barrel of a reverse sweep, having to do it against Snowy is a position that no one in SSA wants to be in.
Timeout already burned as well from LFO. Clearly something to talk about. Together with their coach, Datalight. Let's see if it yielded, or if it does yield, any fruit in this game 3. You sort of feel like it has to yield fruit immediately. Guns, great first touch, great second touch. Does he have enough boost? No, he runs out of that precious resource. No 1-0 here for 5 Fears. I want to say yet, but LFO is looking pressed back on defense for now.
That timeout play from LFO, can it help to shift the tides? I think it's going to be really hard to tell. I mean, the first couple of games, the first 2 minutes, there was no goal on the board. So it's going to take much longer in this matchup to decide whether LFO was able to even the odds here. They are under the barrel of a long-standing possession and a respected roll 1. Guns and Torres out of the game, 2v2. LFO with the ball. We're going for the Doomsy dish narrowly there.
And that's going to be interesting. Snowy. Now with a bit of more space than he would otherwise have. Tekos just leaving into the corner. Eli up into the skies. It's a power play from LFO in the 2v2, but Snowy able to finally find a clear for 5 Fears. No demo though, and Tekos a little bit too far away. Werty hunting for the demo himself. Snowy, good cut.
Listen, I know that RLCS announced they added 2v2 to RLCS.
They're a few months early, right?
Yeah, it's a few months early. I didn't expect it here, but it continues nonetheless. Snowy and Tekos aren't going to get their opportunity for offense here. Counterattack brewing. Snowy gets a wonderful 50-50, and whoa, watch out! A little bit of traffic in the way to clear the roll 1.
And who gets to be the beneficiary of the reinstated 3v3? Tekos, 1 shot. Werty safe to the side. Eli has to follow it along. Snowy into the danger zone once more. No current attack really brewing here for LFO. Good pass though from Torres out to Eli. Eli still on the ball with 0 boost. But in the end, shot saved away by Guns, who, after being on the sideline for a bit, I feel like has a few plays he wants to cook up now.
He's been thinking of new ideas that whole time, storing up the energy for a save. Now he's getting the back pass over to Snowy, who leaves it for Tekos. Another fake on the play. And 5 Fears, they are full of creativity on their attempts for that first goal.
Can they actually find it? Creativity, all well and good, but an ugly goal is as much valuable as a pretty one. All count the same. Tekos having to drop deep, leaving it for Guns though on the back wall. Rikowski recovery, not really too well. Eli, it's an involuntary pass, but he is there. The shot is good, but Snowy's save is even better.
What a laser, just a bullseye out of Wordy, dead center. And it did force 2 out of 5 Fears in that situation for LFO. You hope to be crashing the boards, have that follow-up to really get 5 Fears shaking, and this may be that moment. Eliakim does go up for the shot. Save comes through from 5 Fears. Snowy with the ball, cutting it away. That interception made by Wordy on the drive challenge allows LFO to push forward. This is a lot longer than we're used to seeing that first goal in this game. Could we get it here? Snowy off the ground. I thought he might have the double off the ground. Instead, 5 Fears still looking for that shot. Tekos removed with the demolition.
Snowy certainly tried with the ground double now. Still has a reset, has got the flip, uses the flip. Echo's too high, Snowy having to rush back now. 12 boost only in his tank. Guns already there to support. 5 Fears moving forward once again. This is going to be scary now. But Torres does so well on the float to just find that one touch on Guns. Not allow him any space in the air.
Ooh, that is smart challenge from Eliakim. Almost had the devious attempt out of Guns. A free ball on the sidewall. It's never a good thing for that team. Taking time, though. It was Guns on that approach. Torres full boost. Cuts it directly into the middle of the field, which is a dangerous play, and it's taken away well by Tekaz. 20 seconds, ball right in the hands of Snowy, and he'll punish.
And you could see in the corner of your screen a double commit brewing because, yeah, Werty did not expect Eli to have the recovery. I can't really blame him either for the commit, but unfortunately, the way the cookie crumbled, Eli had the recovery from the corner, still went going for it. And 5 Fears are the ones to capitalize. LFO play a clean game, LFO play a good game, but in the end, they cannot find the result to back up their otherwise really good performance. Maybe here Torres lands down, Pop is a little bit too high, Werty is there yet again, triple save, and another one for Snowy to boot.
How are they in front of that one as well? Snowy seals the deal for game number 3 after the late game triple commit. For 5 Fears, the plan was bend, don't break, and they just kept themselves stable until the end.
That was as much force as you could apply to that 5 Fears defense, I feel like, Pyro, without it breaking. It barely without it breaking, I might add. But that was a very interesting game dynamically as well, because LFO sort of seemed to slow the pace down, and 5 Fears didn't really know what to do with it. So they went for solo play after solo play, mechanical play after mechanical play. But if you're well organized, if these boost steals from Guns aren't happening, then these are quite trivial to defend.
Yeah, this game really felt like it could have swung either way with how you said, LFO, they shortened the pace a bit. They slowed down. They said, let's make sure those disruption plays do not get to us. Those bumps, those boost steals. How can we keep our wherewithal in this matchup and, yeah, not break under the go, go, go that we've been talking about with 5 Fears. So that kind of has felt like the plan all along, Muckfish, with us waiting so long to see that first goal. And then when it does come through, 5 Fears is like opening the floodgates, because 5 Fears themselves will play a different style, whether they're ahead in the game or knotted up at zeros.
Oh, that's a terrible whiz from Werty, especially considering where LFO's strengths lie. Oh, it wasn't Werty, it was Eliakim, I'm sorry. But nonetheless, the result still stands. 4 seconds in, 5 Fears 1-0.
It's all about preventing the floodgates from opening, right, Mike Fish? So now in 4 seconds, we have seen the first goal. LFO, this is the time to put those fears aside if you can.
Might as well treat it as it's still 0-0, lads, but Guns, pancake off the backboard. Fortunately for him, not enough momentum to keep going with the goal. 5 Fears, again, pushing forward with all their might. Snowy, just going to pop it up high for Guns. Eli saw it coming in very importantly. Catches a piece of the ball in that 50-50.
Let's see it here. Like the setup from Torres, but he loses the ball. I like him ready at the half-court line with full boost, but then they'll get dunked. This, I guess, opportunity for LFO to slow the pace down is slowly chipping away at them as 5 Fears will not respect the slow nature of that play. I like him. There's no boost here. Guns takes advantage by taking it over. Couldn't find the underside of the bar.
Still though, the drive forward continues. Good demo, but Guns can't quite get it on target. Neither can Tekos. Another bump though. It's going to make it awkward here for Eli. Finds the patience, finds a good flick over one. Guns though, in the meantime, has rotated back. Is in a position to take over. LFO desperately scrambling to find something. Guns trying to 50 his way through. Good demo in the midfield there from Eli to relieve a bit of pressure. Still, 5 Fears are well and truly in control of this game for thus far.
Long clear made, guns ready to receive. Already with the quick touch. Up and over. Torres able to sling it past one. Torres has been directing the ball to the midfield as much as he can because that's what tends to open up this defense of Five Fears. Finally breaks open that can opener and rips Five Fears to shreds.
And that is now the 18th minute of scoreless Rocket League that has gone for LFO. Finally, they found another. Werty, Eli, and Torres, but they need to find many, many more if they want to win the game, let alone the series. Guns already in his opponent's corner again, trying to disrupt. There's a demo from Tekos onto Eli. Five Fears extending their control on the ball. Snowy looking for the pass across, but it doesn't hit the ceiling. The pass really won't land. Five Fears moving forward. Guns redirect attempted, but redirect not hit.
LFO would love to be the ones to prove that these top two teams can bleed. It's going to require a better second half. They've been able to do this tug of war against Five Fears in the first half, but end up falling apart in the second. This is where they have to step up. This is where they have to deny them. Oh. And it won't be LFO to do it. It will be the crossbar.
Crossbar saves it. Guns also had an opportunity there to double tap, which he couldn't quite use. Five Fears looked very dangerous indeed. Snowy into the sky, goes for Werty's car. Tekos can't quite find a defender on the ground, misses the ball here. Transition and power and pressure, most importantly, lost for Five Fears. They have to reassert themselves from their own defensive back line. Guns can't get it quite past Torres.
Oh my, Snowy really tried to go for the snipe there. I respect it. Guns kind of losing control of that one. The pass really was not present. And now you've got this turnaround for LFO.
Oh,
hold
hello.
on off the backboard. Eliakim, reality bending.
That's the magician we were talking about. That's the Eli that LFO need. Out of nowhere. A beautiful read, a beautiful goal. LFO are in front.
I'm gonna watch that replay about 10 times so I can understand how Eliakim managed to get that ball in. This is gonna be another one. Wordy from the backboard in the net off the side flip. Do it anyway you like, Wordy, as long as you get the goal.
I've seen more comfortable runaway goals than that one from Wordy. The side flip does not instill a lot of hope in me. But hey, if it's in, it's in. No mistakes there. And Five Fears are on the verge of losing their first game in this top 16 stage. Werty looking for another one. Guns this time there for the save. Snowy is just buggering off to the front corner, completely ignoring the rest of the play. Werty is still there. And LFO just have to run down the timer. 45 seconds left. Torres, important save.
Five Fears are clearly not done yet. Snowy. Oh, what a save is made! It's all for naught as Tekos cleans it up, but I thought LFO almost got out of this one.
Oh, Torres, from getting the save to nearly own goaling to, well, in the end not being there anymore when Tekos gets his goal. And now, it's squeaky bum time for LFO. 35 seconds. Eli, though, great recovery off the kickoff. 50-50 to boot on the ceiling as well. What do they do? How do they approach it, LFO? Do they sit back, absorb the pressure, or do they proactively defend?
I like him. There's not a lot of proactivity you can do without boost. He runs out of it on the first challenge. All perfect positioning from Wordy. Nearly places it. Oh, the rebound. I'm never doubting him on a rebound again, Mocked.
If it looks awkward, if the angle looks scuffed, if the car looks scuffed, Werty's in his comfort zone. That is what we can summarize from this game, from the past 4 years of seeing Werty compete in the RLCS. Beauty is optional, but the mechs are there in principle. But they have still 4 seconds to survive.
Yeah, hold the phone here because when Five Fears brought it within one last time, they went for the double kickoff. Okay, they're not set up for exactly that, but you know they're going to craft a play here. Snowy, it's the fake, out to Tekos. Is going to have Snowy in the wing. He just has to get it to him. Unable to do so. Guns picks up the mid boost and flips it away. He went for the front flick, but it hits the ground. Looking for organization. It may not have been the cleanest, but you've done it. You've made Five Fears bleed.
Ooh, a first little dagger inserted into Five Fears, and LFO walk away with the win. That was, well, statistically speaking, maybe a bit of a steal, but if you look at what happened on the gameplay, a lot of the shots that Five Fears had weren't really that dangerous.
Felt like Five Fears sort of lost control in those important transition moments, right? LFO getting most of their goals on the counterattacks, and so Five Fears, at this point, it comes to that level of respect. You have to have someone a little bit deeper in these offensive rotations. We mentioned go, go, go from this team, and they need to get to their goal line in some of these moments, because 4 goals after an incredible drought of any scoring from LFO is quite a bit.
Yeah, let's not forget, before this game 4, they've scored a grand total of 1 goal this entire series. So, what is that? 400%? Yeah, that's good in my book, and it's probably good in their books as well. I do have a problem though now, and that is what we've seen plenty of times last year as we go into the Boost Mall, is that once the bear has been poked, it gets really angry, and the bear now has been poked.
I thought you were going to tell me your problem was Boostfield Mall, and in that case, I would agree with you. But no, we're here.
I don't have strong feelings on this map.
Okay. You know they sell eggs at one of the shops in this map. It's pretty incredible.
That's blasphemy.
Yeah, it's had a hard time accepting that knowledge. But hey, you know what else was baffling was that save from Ward. He just somehow finds the save off the post, and I think for LFO, it's very important to keep this game close for as long as you want. You don't want to concede that early goal.
LFO, well, they conceded early in game 4, and it didn't seem to phase them.
Sure.
Maybe they can find something here. Guns against the post, and then Eli is there for the save. It sort of looked like Eli switched off already, but then switching on very quickly. Torres with a great fake. Tekos is there though to pre-jump the mid pass. You need to be a bit more creative if you want to get it past 5 Fears.
You know what's the most exciting thing about this game is, ooh, okay, that was scary, is we're going to see LFO with confidence, right? And that's kind of what we've wanted to see, especially from Eliakim, is when he's playing well, is it a doozy to witness? And they've got the win against Five Fears. They still have a tie game here in game number 5. Let these players loose already.
Torres certainly trying to get off the leash, but Five Fears is still in control of it, as it seems. Tekos long clear. It's not going to be any problems for Torres. The 2 Spaniards in a small battle between themselves. Snowy's shot, well, it's going to get more dangerous than it needed to be, because communication breaks down between Werty and Eli. Those are not the goals that you want to be conceding.
I hate to say it, but it's just not the first time we've witnessed that. Right, Mock to Eliakim and Wordy going for the same ball. And it's very difficult in Rocket League. It's these split-second decisions you have to make. Sometimes comms cannot address that issue. It's just time spent together as a team. And this is the first open off a very quick off-season. There is no way that Torres has that ball out.
How? How does he keep it out? Giving LFO a lifeline, but for how long? Guns doesn't have a pass anymore. Great demo by Eli. And immediately recovers as well. Impeccable from him. Possibly one of the best performances we've seen in a bit from Eliakim, as Tekos tries to double tap at home, leaves it for Snowy. Shot is well placed, but once again Eli is there.
Wait, the defense from LFO is incredible right now, because those were 2 opportunities that just, I mean, they should be in against any other team. Surely Five Fears have a second goal, but LFO, they understand the position they're in right now, that they may not get this every single time. They could take down Snowy and Guns off of one of the most incredible reverse sweeps, but so much work to be done still, including a goal in this game. Can they at least gather possession? Guns. Interesting to take that one. He has the boost, though, in the corner to help Tekos on defense.
And just burning a bit of time. They still have a lead, so they can afford to burn a few seconds. That's a bump from behind. Tekos is going to still collect the ball, regardless of that fact. LFO doing well to get into the challenges, to get into the 50s, to get into the bumps. But now Guns has got a lot of space to work with. That is scary time. Torres on the backboard. Great 50-50, denying Guns any sort of tomfoolery with the dunk.
And the tomfoolery that Guns is looking for isn't even the goal. It's the setup there afterwards. So I'm really impressed by LFO to not just take up the flip reset and save it, but put it in a safer position for their team to get out. But unfortunately, defense is not going to win this game for LFO. We've seen incredible moments of it, but it's 1 minute where their top 4 lives could be at stake here. What a touch. Tekos somehow gets it to the net.
Oh, it's so simple, but it's so difficult at the same time to find the exact perfect angle on the bounce with the doink no less from Tekos. Beautifully done, beautifully executed. 5 fears now well and truly in the driver's seat as Guns leaves it off to Snowy for the 1-2. Not in.
Here it is, LFO, last chance ball at the logo. Wordy, ooh, we'll leave mid boost there. So it's gonna be a Eliakim call to action. Torres full boost. Oh, he's dunked on the plate, 5 fears. Go straight for the ball right now. They're not going to absorb the pressure. They're going to give it instead. Guns, the dunk, nearly there for Torres. That ball, no man's land. Snowy sealed the deal. 5 fears. They're going to top 4.
And a little bit of stats padding to end out this game number 5. I'm actually surprised the game still counted that as Guns' goal. Sometimes it doesn't give you the seal, but in this case it has. 3-0. 5 fears and in the end are undeniable, but LFO, well, certainly they might not have made them bleed, but there was a wound, there was a scratch that was given to the face of 5 fears. But in the end, the new team of Guns, Snowy and Tekos pulls through and gets it over and done with 4-1 in the series.
They're all on low ping, the only team with an import that is also playing in South Africa, and they've sent LFO to that lower bracket. Maybe not as handily on the series sheet as Pioneers, but their wins arguably were more dominant. Yes, LFO did score 4 in that one game, but out of the 4 they lost, I think it's only 1 goal total.
Yeah, it's only that 1 goal in game 1 where we were like, hang on a second, this might be a close one. We were proven wrong for the subsequent 15 minutes of gameplay. But I feel like, again, overall, both teams now, Pioneers and 5 fears, they've allowed the exact same number of goals, 5 in total, but very differently distributed. And I feel like, again, 5 fears, they've got some cleanup to do for tomorrow. I think they've got good pointers as to where they go, but if they combine with one another, and when they, and if, and more importantly, when they connect with one another, they are so lethal. It's actually disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross to watch, but in Rocket League, we like gross. We like disgusting, and I think the panel might like it as well. What do we think, guys? We got the desk sweep.
We got the desk sweep. So a couple of things on LFO for me. So Macht, Macht mentioned the point on the desk before we went to this game that he sees LFO as the 3rd team in the region. So of the top 4, Pioneers, 5 fears, looking for Org, and then Cosmico. And I think that series probably showed that. And I like the fact that we saw glimpses of Eli and how good Eli can be. But if they tidied things up, they would be more of a threat. And if you got a goal for every 3 excellent saves, we might well be going into a game 5 now, Ultras. And so good glimpses there, but not enough for the clinical 5 fears.
So you said that it was a desk sweep. I was really wondering off air whether I should mention it or not. My prediction was actually that LFO might be able to put this 4 games to 3. And I sat there the whole time going, I understand why. I'm looking at the way they're playing and I'm knowing why I picked them. But I think, Pyro, you said it pretty well. They're doing the right things, but they're just not finishing off a couple of times. They're not hungry enough for the ball. And when they got confident, we got to see them playing the game that we really wanted to see out of LFO. But otherwise, there's just, they're the right pieces. They're not connecting together right now. And maybe it's just a little bit more trust in your teammates and execute a little bit more. But clinical, of course, from the Guns and the rest of the squad.
Well, they played with so much confidence in the early bits, and I think that goal by Eliakim exemplifies how close they are. That was an absolutely insane goal, and if that wasn't clipped immediately by at least 20 different people, I'll be disappointed, because there have been absolutely nutty goals. But also, speaking of nutty goals, the way that 5 Fears have been playing today and just throughout the tournament, they're the new Mecky Beckies in town. They're the ones playing like they just own the place. And I love that there is a very clear disparity in styles between Pioneers and 5 Fears and all of these teams. They play so fundamentally differently, and I still have no idea which one's better.
I want to actually say that was the second big prediction I made. I thought that maybe 5 Fears would go down in this one. And then I thought, if they don't, then I genuinely believe they could be able to take down Pioneers tomorrow. So they're looking as good as I could have expected them to.
Well, I'm hoping that LFO will soon find themselves an org that will bring Torres out here, because you kind of feel with Stake coming out, with Tekos being here, with Lewis P coming out, that's going to be a necessary component. So we wait to see how that all plays out. But Pyro, does it feel like, is there an inevitable sense of destiny with this open one that we're going to see a Pioneers 5 Fears grand final?
Greybeard, I said this like before the season began, like months ago. There was such a clear, distinct top 2, and there's just no question about it. I like, yes, the region is developing and everyone is, but with the 3 of Limitless, with Snowy, To Die For, and Sweaty, they have so much worlds and LAN experience and just an ability to bring these teams to another level, which is great because you need that bar to be higher and higher, something for these teams to reach to. I still have a little question mark on Cosmica. It's pretty impressive performance, I gotta say, against Pioneers. I don't care that it was a sweep, it was much more hotly contested, but it's just the proof of what we've been expecting all along. So yeah, the grand finals, in my opinion, is set, but I love to be proven wrong, Greybeard.
LFO will play Death Cloud Esport tomorrow, and it's been a day of debuts. We have debuts in the top 8, debuts in the top 6, debuts on the main broadcast. We had Declan earlier, and making his main event broadcast debut for the interview is Guns. Let's get it.
Guns from 5 Fears. He couldn't find his camera, but at least he could find his way to us here. My friend, GG's, good game, well played, and also congratulations to the win and all that. But I want to fire with the first question already, and we have to talk about the team composition. How did it happen that you and Snowy end up on the same roster?
Honestly, we both want to win. So like we used to hate each other, but now kind of getting friends. We're becoming friends now, and I feel like we work pretty well together because we both want to win.
That's pretty valid. I want to win, you want to win. Let's team up and win, I guess. And winning, you have been, Guns. You're part of a new roster. You've been playing with a lot of confidence. Was it an adjustment to the new team, or did it just feel quite natural?
I think the first few series, especially when Tekos is on hyping, we all had to adjust to how we play. But honestly, ever since he came down, it's been smooth sailing. We've all found our place, and it's just good from here.
I'm glad to hear it. And we've seen, I'm not sure about this, but we've seen a lot of creative freedom with the way your team's been playing, especially in passing plays. You guys are very mechy on that. Is this a conscious decision, or is it just great camp?
I feel like it's just conscious decision. I feel like we just do what we're told, especially in comms, because we go comms first. So if you call for it mid, it's gonna come mid.
I mean, yeah, that's the way to play it, right? And if you have to respect your teammate, and you have to respect what they're calling out. But now the big question that we all have on the desk, right, is we know that you're one of the top 2 teams in the region. We know you want to win, and there's nothing more that you and your teammates love than winning. But honest to God, hard on your tongue, how difficult is that series that we all expect against the Pioneers? How difficult and how close can we expect it to be?
You see, man, I could say a quick 4-0, but that's a fantasy. I mean, it could happen. You never know. But honestly, it could go either way. But I think we just have an edge, especially with Snowy and Tekos' experience in the EU and Snowy's experience at LANs and stuff. I feel like we have a lot more ice than Pioneers, and yeah, I'm just the GOAT.
Okay, and with that is our word for the Saturday. You're the GOAT. Guns, have a lovely evening. See you tomorrow, and we'll send it straight back to the desk.
Guns is the GOAT. Guns.
2025 book of quotes. That's the top one. Top one clears.
The second quote that came out of that for me was definitely, we used to hate each other, but we really wanted to win. So now here we are, Guns 2025.
He said the quiet part out loud. It was we all knew that. We just didn't think they'd say it, and so they are. It is fantastic.
I respect it.
And that's probably a big difference between Snowy and Guns. Is Guns will say it out loud, and for better or worse, Guns is putting it out there. But fantastic stuff. Well done. Great to have him on the broadcast. Great to have him interviewed. Great to see you, Guns, and no doubt the first of many in time to come, gents. And just like that, we come to the end of the first day of top 8 playoffs, and there's the bracket. We have from the lower bracket Death Cloud getting through by way of a forfeit, but then Synthesis and Punishers. What a banger series for us to start the day with, going the distance into overtime of games 7, but Synthesis, they prevail and will go top 6 with Cosmico tomorrow, and LFO will be playing Death Cloud Esport, and much for us to talk about tomorrow when we get to that. Some great prospects, and we'll see if that sense of inevitability of the grand final we all think is going to happen will come to pass, and we'll bring that all to you. But to wrap up today, driver of the day, as voted for by chat, and we have no idea. So quickly, Bromeo, who's your driver? Without Wiffle Waffle, who is it?
Oh, Guns.
Pyro.
I'm not ready. Sweaty.
What did you say, Sweaty?
Sweaty.
Ultrazim.
Guns, honorable mention, Gold Ninja.
Yeah, Gold Ninja was fabulous. I will go probably Sweetie. So we're kind of 2-2 here. That's what we say on the desk. What does is that? I didn't even get word from production if they were ready with driver of the day. I'm just, yes, they are. Thank goodness for that. Yeah. There we go. 2 of us were right, Sweaty. But honestly, it could have been either but there must have been a lot of votes because he only got 14% of the vote. Played for 4 wins, 100% win rate, 1900 score, 43% shooting, 6 goals, 3 assists, 6 saves. Your driver of the day, Sweaty Clarence from the Pioneers. Congratulations to you. And
Guns was
oh,
second.
okay. I've just seen Blanks just let us know that Guns was second. So you know what? We're close, and I was so excited at the prospect when LFO took game 4, and I went, if they reverse sweep here, how awesome would it have been for me to predict logically and rationally, and then the crazy result happened. That would have just been amazing, but not to be. So that is going to wrap it up from us. It's been a banger of a day. It is such a delight to be back for SSA in the best way possible. What a great season we're going to have, and already this open number 1 is delivering, and it's such a joy. And gentlemen, great to be back with you guys. It's like getting the old band back together, and we're as good as we ever were. This talent team are the GOATs, Greybeard. So
no, wait, I just wanted to put it out there. You Blanks said Guns came second in Drive of the Day, but it must be noted Guns never comes second. He's always first. So that's just how it goes. And honestly, what a way to set up the weekend. An absolutely fantastic interview to round out an absolutely fantastic day of Rocket League. We've seen some incredible games so far, and I cannot wait to see what tomorrow has in store for us.
And there we go. What is in store is amazing Rocket League, and we will bring it all to you. So from me, Greybeard, the Bromeo, Pyro, Ultrism, and Machtfish, and let's not forget Reggie and Blank running things with ACGL. We shall see you tomorrow. Peace! Welcome to Sub-Saharan Africa. Welcome to the Rocket League Championship Series 2026, the most anticipated season in our 4-year history in this global competition, and without a doubt, our most competitive. It all starts with this open number 1, where the field of 123 teams was whittled down to just 16. Those 16 battled it out last night to determine the final 8 for this weekend's playoffs. Today and tomorrow, we, along with all of you, will be here for every demo, save, assist, and goal, through the lows of defeat and the highs of victory, and at the end, we'll crown a champion. SSA, our best season is this season.